can start again. It's just because of you I'm saved by grace. Your love and grace. So yeah, so I say thank you for loving me, gifting me, blessing me, saving me, catching me, healing me, healing me, protecting me. Blessing me, so I need touching me, healing me, protecting me, Lord. I'll always love you for what you've done in my life. Because of you, I can go on and on. I can weather any storm. Oh, so I say thank you for loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me. Thank you, keep protecting me. Bless then you came along, when there was no one I could depend on. Then you came along, then you picked me up so I could stand on my own, stand on my own. Oh yeah, so I said, loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me, healing, keeping me, protecting me. Thank you for loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me, feeding me, keeping me, protecting me. I never knew the truth. Love was all about till you touch my heart, yeah. And now that I found you, my life can start. New life can start, yeah. It's just because of you I'm saved by grace. Your love and grace. So yeah, so I say thank you for loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, catching me, healing me, protecting me. Lord, I know blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me, protecting me, Lord. I'll always love you for what you've done in my life. Because of you, I can go on and on. I can weather any storm. Oh, so I say thank you for loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me. Thank you, keep protecting me. I know it's you, yes. Thank you, touching me, healing me, for your love, protecting me. Thank you, loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me. Thank you, keeping me, protecting me. I know it's you, so I need you, keeping me, protecting me, loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me, feeding me, keeping me, protecting me. Thank you for I know it's you, so I need touch you again. See me, protecting me. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Will. Good morning, Anthony Lewis. Good morning, social media. We're out here, we're doing this. It is, oh man, it's July the 2nd already? Is that right? Good morning, Amar Khalil. I don't know why your screen, I don't know why your screen is blue, bro. But good morning, good morning.
You said it's what? You said it's gold.
It's blue.
It's blue. I don't know. Can you see me clearly?
Clearly when I add you to the stage, but it's blue. But don't worry, it's good. I just didn't realize the day was the second. They got stepped all down first. It's hot out here. Will is getting ready to go to work. Let me just read a scripture. I don't know if you heard your song, Amar, but your song came on this morning. Thank you, Lord. And that's what I'm talking about on this day. Thank you, God, for all that you do. The scripture on yesterday, Matthew 5:14, said, "You are the light of the world, a city on a hill that cannot be hidden." And then the day, James 1:27, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after the orphans and the widows in their distress and keep oneself from being polluted by the world. And then Second Chronicles, I got to read this, 7:14. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and I will forgive our sins and heal their land. So what I want to talk about today, and me and Will kind of talked about it earlier, he was talking about taking care of others. But prior to taking care of others, at this point, we got to take care of ourselves first. Because if we don't take care of self, we can't help others. If we don't take care of our health, and I was in the hospital last week for a health scare. If we don't take care of our mental, our emotional, our psychological, our spiritual, I'm finally drinking some protein. Don't believe me? Here it goes right here. You know, because everybody's determined for me to eat some meat, which I refuse to eat. But I went to Whole Foods and got some protein, even though somebody hit my car and kept going. But overall, before we could take care of our family members, before we could take care of our spouses, before we could take care of anybody else and stop carrying the load, we have to take care of ourselves. And look, it's amazing. You see Anthony and Amar. Anthony put on them shades. That means it's hot out there. And then him and Amar, them regular glasses Amar got on. We ain't tripping. But it's hot out there. Oh, he got on shades too. He was like, don't play with me. But yeah, I want to talk about taking care of self. And how do we take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually? How do you take care of you before you try to take care of everybody else? And anybody, at any point, you can come off mute and tell me how you take care of yourself.
Well, top of the morning, good morning. Good morning, world. Anyway, first of all, having God first in your life is first and foremost for me. You know, some believe, some don't. Choose you this day whom you may serve. But I know that God is the head of my life. That's first and foremost. Believing and trusting in a higher power. Believing and trusting that God can do all things. And that he's working it out for our good. So for me, that's first. And then secondly, self-care. Self-care, what does that consist of? Well, speaking life over yourself. They say life and death are in the power of the tongue. So you got to speak life over yourself. You got to speak a blessing over yourself. You got to speak healing over yourself. You got to speak love. You got to speak positive affirmations. Tell yourself, I'm alive, well, healthy, and blessed. I'm the son of the Most High God. I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful. You know, all those things. Speak those things over yourself. So that's what I do. And then I work out. I work out. You know, when I'm not able to really get in the gym and really hash it out while I'm in this van, on my way to a stop, I'll get there. Once I get there, I'll jump in the back and do 30 or 40 push-ups. Then, once I load up whatever I'm gonna load up, if I have room before I leave the pickup spot, I'll do some more push-ups. Then, once I get to the drop-off spot, I'll unload it, and before I start driving again, I'll jump down and do some more push-ups. So I'm getting like sets of 25 to 40 to 50 push-ups in every stop or every other stop. So those are the things that I do. I go to the chiropractor, I go to physical therapy, I go get massages, man, to help relieve that stress. It helps relieve that stress, that tension that we carry throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. Self-care, and then trying to eat the things that are going to be conducive to my everyday living, to my health, to help me think better, live better, feel better. Now, that's not to say that I don't have a bag of them Hawaiian barbecue chips. Them Hawaiian barbecue chips are they kryptonite. They kryptonite. But they're good. And so every now and then, yes, I like to partake in a good potato chip or go to Five Guys and get some of them good old seasoned fries, as P. Shack loves to do as well. They just cost an arm and a leg. But if you have the upside, app, you dang near get them bad boys for free. So anyway, those are the things that I like to do, man. I love to live, laugh, love, all the things. You know what I'm saying? I like hugging. I like affection. You know, I'm a touchy-feely kind of guy. But you know, the thing about that is this: most people live longer when people touch them, and we're not talking about sexually, but the touch. The human touch, hugs, holding hands, caressing, embracing. If you notice, primates, apes, monkeys, and things like that, they do a lot of touching and grooming on one another. They're like always grooming each other. You know, you see them picking through the hairs and, you know, touching fingers and all that kind of stuff like that. And primates live long, healthy lives because if we want to live, the human connection is so important. And it ain't always about sexual penetration and all that, because that's not what I'm talking about. But it is just the human touch. And so therefore, that's how I self-care. All of those things, man, encompass all of those things, man. And then think on things above and not beneath. So, yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a question. You're on the road all day, traveling everywhere. How do you stay woke? How do you stay? And you already said you work out in between shifts. But how do you, by you taking care of yourself, how does that affect your family?
Well, they don't have.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, by me doing all the things that I'm supposed to do, just like my wife kept saying, you need to go get your colonoscopy and all that other kind of stuff like that. Because I hadn't done it. I had never had one in my 59 years of living. So I went and had that done, and everything came back beautiful. I had no polyps, nothing. Everything was clear and clean. But part of that is because I take colon cleanse. I take colon cleanse. I'm doing my ginger root and my beet juice and all these different things that help flush and move your system along. And so by me doing all those things, to answer your question, how does it affect my family? So they're not worried. Is because when you do the things that you need to do, they know that Pops is healthy. They know that Pops is good. They know that Pops is trying to take care of themselves, to take care of himself. I'm super positive all the time. I could be, I know that I'm a trip. I have my idiosyncrasies that, fight sometimes with folks. My wife says, you act like this world is yours. You act like everybody's supposed to live by your yada 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 or whatever. And a few times, I had to say, and that's because it is. That's because it is.
Right.
Now,
Right.
I am who I am. I do what I do. But when I say I am who I am, that's not to say I'm stuck in my ways and accept me for who I am, or it is my way or the highway. Because with wisdom, when you ask God for wisdom, you're supposed to also ask for discernment. So therefore, you need to know, using that wisdom and that discernment, that sometimes you gotta become a chameleon. You gotta know when to turn it on, when to turn it off. You gotta know when to say yes, when to say no. You gotta know when to go left or when to go right. That means you need to know when to speak, when to keep your mouth closed, when you need to move or you need to sit still, or when you need to do something that's going to help change the atmosphere of your house. You can, if you want peace, you got to be peaceable. If you want friends, you got to first show yourself friendly. So therefore, you can't ask for peace in your home if you are the constant hell raiser. So you gotta, so even though somebody might think it's their way or the highway, man, if you want things to change in your house, you got to be the change agent. So folks gotta understand, man, you gotta be willing to change. And so me doing all the things that I do, or try to do, it allows for my family to be at ease and be at peace around the house, because they know I'm not going to come in the house and start acting a fool. They know I'm not about to come in the house and start drinking and smoking and just doing all kind of crazy stuff where they don't know who they going to get today. They don't know who you know what I'm saying? And so because of that, they're able to know that Pops is good. When my grandbabies come in the house, they eyes, or like if they come in the house or I walk in the house because they're already there, they eyes light up. Like my grandson, he'll see me and he'll make a beeline to me, and he got his hands up like Papa Fresh, Bree Bree. She comes over and she gives me the big old hug. I mean, so it's like that lets you know that you're an okay kind of dude when your grandbabies see you and they wanna come love on you. When your son leaves you a message and says, "Okay, shaky dude. If you don't pick up my call when I call you, or if you don't call me back, yada yada yada, we're gonna have problems, partner." you need to call me back within a minute and 30 seconds, and and you know, because I'm not accepting no voicemails and all that other kind of stuff. So when your sons call you and leave a message and joke like that, and they're like, hey dude, so then when I call him back, he's like, man, I was about to say, man, you ain't gonna pick up my call. You know, that lets you know that you're doing something when your kids want to talk to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, so my daughter now, she's a huge boxing fan. So she's like, you know, Abdullah Mason is fighting this weekend, you know, such and such and such. I know. She said, I'm gonna be right there on the couch, because she know that's what I get down with. I love boxing. So you want your family, your kids to love, and your wife and your family members to love being around you. That lets you know what kind of person you are.
But you have to take care of yourself first, though. And you perform. You're out here performing and driving.
Yeah.
And taking care of family, all of that. So how do you take that?
By eating this, I just got through eating a peach. Now I got a big old plum.
Oh, that's a plum. I thought that was an apple.
No, so that's how big and juicy this bad boy is. Woo! I just got through eating a peach. And then I normally have almonds. Sorry about that. You know, that's that ghetto slang. I went to Castlemont, man. Don't get mad at me. At least I know how to. I know that I didn't say right. So I know how to sell. Yeah, I know how to switch it up and speak correctly and properly when I need to. So I know I get, and we talked about that last night. People got to get out their vocabulary. So and so anyway.
When they searching for a word, they don't got the word.
Right. But you got, man, listen. Take your time. You don't have to speak super fast. You don't have to try to get it all out in one breath. Take your time and think about the things that you need to say, so that way you don't say something you don't need to say. But anyway, eating on plums, eating peaches and things like that while I'm driving, having some almonds and things like that. I normally keep some almonds in the car or some kind of mixed nuts and things of that nature. So that way I'm snacking on healthy stuff throughout the day, which again, it allows you to take care of you, take care of the inside. So when I go to, I like to go some mornings for the extra little energy. I go get some coffee, right? But it's just a little bit of creamer and coffee. I don't put no sugar. I don't put no sugar in it. And then sometimes if I have my cup from the house, I'll put turmeric and cinnamon and agave in my cup. Then I go to when I go to the Chevron, because I like their coffee. They got some nice coffees in there. So then at the house I'll put agave, cinnamon, and turmeric. Then I go to the gas station, I put a little bit of creamer, and then I put my coffee in here. So now I got me a nice blend mixture of turmeric, cinnamon, agave, and all that kind of stuff like that, which we know turmeric is good for inflammation. I mean, it has so many health properties. I don't, you know, you're talking about inflammation, helps stomach issues. Turmeric helps, well, I said stomach issues, but it helps your digestion and all that kind of stuff like that. Turmeric is very, very good for you. It's good for your blood too. It's like cayenne pepper is. it jump starts and put that nitric oxide in your blood to get you moving and grooving. And so, and cinnamon is very good for you as well. So I do that when I'm having my coffee. See, I said again when I have my coffee.
Just say coffee, bro.
So
Just say coffee.
right.
You know, I noticed that's the new trend. But it's better than people using profanity because they don't have the right words. Because some people don't even got good words. And if you talk to some people, every other word is a curse word. That means they have a limited vocabulary.
Absolutely. Or they've conditioned themselves so much, to always feel like they gotta try to put an emphasis on what they're saying, and if they use a curse word, it adds like a period to it, like it said. It's just putting heavy emphasis on what they're talking about. Like these mother effers, man. So it's and you do it so much that it just becomes a natural thing. So you have to train your speech too.
Right. So the other part, I'm still emphasizing on, even though you're driving all over the world, you're still able to perform. How are you performing at the level you're performing at, and still working at the level you're working at, and maintaining the family, and just you got your health, you got the strength, you're happy. How are you? I know you say you got God in your life, but how are you taking care of yourself to the point that you're not so overwhelmed and you bring stress home? Working out is the thing.
It's working out. It's working out. Is in the car, listening to the Bible app. So I'm going through the Bible in a year, and so it takes you through different scriptures. Then when I listen to music, I'm normally listening to some inspirational gospel music or something like that, or just some real good music that's uplifting and things that you have to put in you what you want to come out of you. So if you want the best, then you got to put the best in you, so that way it shows outwardly. And so I look at life like God says, if you don't look through the lens and the outscope of life like a child with wonderment and amazement and all of these things, how can you inherit the kingdom? He says, so you're supposed to look at life, no matter all the stuff that's going on. And because I think about this racism, this hateful nation, the inflation and gas prices, all these different things that go on in the world, I still try to find joy in it. I still try to find the best in people. And when I say people, I mean all people. I still try to find the best in people, because it amazes me, as much as there's racism and all that kind of stuff going on in this world, you still encounter other nationalities that are super cool. But then what bothers me the most is us, because I see us, hey man, how you doing, man? And they just look at you crazy. Don't even speak, frowning up. I be like, wow. Okay. You talk about the other man, but you ain't even ready to even say hello and be cordial to the brother man. So I try to, even though all of that happens and stuff like that, I know the sun is beaming. Although all that kind of stuff happens, I still try to just look at this world with amazement, man. Just take as a heart of a child. I don't. Sometimes, in my thoughts, I'm like, do I act old enough? Do I act grown enough? Do I act like sometimes I see certain men, I see black men, and they got a swagger about themselves that's like, man, that's a solid dude. In my mind, like, man, solid dude right there. Man, look at, he got his family. But then I be like, do I exude that? Because I know that I'm a family man, all that kind of stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't know what a 59-year-old dude's supposed to really act like, because I feel like a kid, man. I do what I need to do to handle my business as a man, but I feel like a kid though, bro. I don't be out here like trying to be.
I don't think it's nothing wrong with laughing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with joking. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a good time, because the Bible says laughter is medicine to the soul. So you act just like you're supposed to act.
Right, absolutely. So I know how to, whatever setting or surrounding I'm in, I know how to act accordingly. But hey, listen, man. So I guess I say all that to say, I don't have time to be on one and time to be tripping, because I just need for things to be super cool, and I just need to flow with that right kind of energy and that whole thing there. So that allows me to be able to continue to do what I do. I enjoy being on stage, love performing. I get excited about that. I like being able to stay busy and do what I need to do to survive, to make money. I don't mind working and all that kind of stuff like that. Some people, I guess it would have been nice to have done something early on in life and really worked and built on that and been able to retire, and then after retirement still able to do everything else that I wanted to do, musically and all that other kind of stuff like that. But that didn't happen. But when I look at retirement, I can never see myself really retiring and just sitting in the house, being on chill mode and just laying around. Nah, I have to get up and go do something. I'll probably get up and cut everybody's grass in the neighborhood, and because I just gotta stay moving and grooving, man. And I think that's part of self-care. I think that's part of the self-care aspect to it, as to what you were speaking on. How do you take care of yourself? How do you stay youthful? How do you stay moving? What does self-care look like? I think all of that, just moving and things of that nature, because if you sit down, man, hold on, sorry about that. Where'd it go?
We hear you. There you go.
Okay, yeah, so, if you're just sitting down, man, with no movement, then you start to become a fixture, and I'm not trying to become a fixture.
So here's another question. 17 plus years ago, God asked you to do a men's prayer call. How surprised are you that the call is still going on? How surprised are you all the men that been on that call, and then some who's passed on, and you know that you impacted their lives? How do you feel about that?
That God is amazing. I mean, God is amazing, and it's amazing that it's still going on. I had no idea that it would go on this long. I can't even begin to fathom that, and to even say that I knew when I wanted it to go this long and all that. We were just doing something like, hey man, let's talk. Me and Tone, he was like, hey man, we need to start a prayer call and this and that. I was like, man, I think about it, man. He said, no, man, I know you can pull it together, man. I know you can do it. You know, we used to have a prayer call, me and my brother-in-law Jake and some other folks, but it phased out, man. But it was a good thing. It was a good way for brothers to get up in the morning and start their day. A good way for folks to connect with one another and all these different things. And so I was like, well, all right, we'll figure it out. And so we did. And there we go. Hold on, sorry about that. We did. And so we decided to start the prayer call. I ended up calling everybody I knew. I was like, who you going? He was like, man, I ain't got nobody yet. Then he was like, well, I got my brother-in-law Jay. So it was like, okay, that's cool. I ended up calling everybody, man. Then folks start getting on, and we had a crew that was solid for a while. And then then when I called you, when I told you about it, you was like, man, I already got a prayer call at that time. This is that. All right, well, it's cool. Well, whenever you want to get on this prayer call, man, we rocking and rolling, baby. We still going. You got on and never got off. Then you got on and then you never got off. I mean, so man, I don't know, man. I just always try to do stuff that, man, just like for me, man, it's easy for me to sorry about that, get to sun so it won't be that glare. Just like for me, man, I just try to do things to bring people together, man, and where people can enjoy people. That's why, man, I'm big on forgiveness, man. I don't hold grudges like that. I mean, you would have had to do something to me that was major for me. Just like this rainbow that I see in the sky right now. God said, man, that he would never leave you nor forsake you and he would never flood the earth again as long as you could see the rainbow in the sky and the greater things to come. And I got a rainbow right in front of me. It ain't no rain, it ain't no clouds in the sky or none of that, but there's a rainbow in front of me right now, and so I've always tried to, I'm big on forgiveness because I just like to be at peace, man. And I think that's another way that self-care and love and all that kind of things like that, and it keeps you youthful because you ain't angry all the time and you're not mad at everybody and their mama, I ain't got time. And it's funny because Mickey Michelle was like, I don't see how you could be friends with them. I don't see how you could yada yada. I said, I don't see how you could even talk to them. I was like, man, I ain't tripping. How could you listen to their music? Because it'd be somebody in the industry that I'd be like, because I like the song. Because I like the song. The song ain't got nothing to do with them. They made the song, but it ain't got nothing to really do with them. The song is a nice song, but so I'm not tripping. Yeah, they might be funny style, but so, man, if we learn to forgive and keep it moving, man, listen, that'll help keep some of that stress and all that kind of stuff up off you too, without having you out here flashing and tripping. Ain't nobody got time for all that.
Right. I know Anthony on the line too. Anthony, how you deal with?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You can hear me?
I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. I'm about to go out and come back in.
Go ahead, Anthony.
All right. Who's online right now? Who online right now?
It's me, you, Will, and then Amar finna come right back on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Self-care. Yeah. Amar, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear y'all.
All right, go ahead and mute it. Go ahead and mute your phone.
All right.
Yeah, self-care is
it starts with self-care, right? It starts with self-care. And in order for you to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. And being a good follower is definitely starting your day, um, going into prayer and submission, going into surrender to into the Heavenly Father through His Son Yeshua, and just confirming and reconfirming and reconnecting. As you open your eye gates, you want to make sure you're definitely in communication um, with the Heavenly Father, and that's first because as soon as you walk out that door, there's gonna be so many different things coming at you, and you have to make sure that you prayed up and you're walking out boldly, knowing that, hey, I'm covered with the holy and almighty hedge of protection as I go, and you're gonna meet people along the way as you go, and you're able to leave with that good spirit, um, and meet people exactly where they are and speak to them. And uh, like Amar was saying, I've made a challenge with myself to say hello to either a brother or a sister each and every day, at least one. And he's right. You get that. Sometimes you get it from the sisters, like you trying to get at them. I'm just saying hi. I'm just saying hello. Have a good day. You know. Um, so yeah, you get that, but I don't care. You just keep doing it. Do not stop doing it just because one or two don't know how to accept that, because they might not have had it. They might never had that in their life. So it's foreign to them. They're
And you meet all kind of different people, man, from all
all
kind of
day.
different
Yeah, we
races.
meet all kind of different people in the store, dropping off at customers' houses all day. Even the people that are doing the construction where we dropping off stuff. Everybody. So it's just a matter of just extending that to somebody. I was speaking to somebody yesterday to speak about self-care, and it showed me that I do I do take that serious, um, because I believe, like you say all the time, Pastor Shaq. We wake up each and every day with new mercy and new grace, and I think we ought to continue to show that mercy and grace all day to others as well. Those deserving, that mercy and that grace. You never know what somebody is going through. I don't wear it on my face that I just lost my first son. I don't wear it on my face. It's a smile on my face. It's my head's not hung low, and the only reason be to that is because through the grace of God, the strength, the able to keep walking and walk on, and I look back and there's only 2 foot of footsteps, and we know what that means, that the Lord got me. I look back and like, man, how did I make it that past that? I don't even remember, but he got me.
So,
Um,
I mean, this is a question. You still in it. How are you taking care of yourself being in it right now? Because to
uh,
lose a child is
yeah, no,
devastating.
I'm not still in. I'm gonna consistently and always forever be in it. As long as I got
Right.
breath in my body, I'll be in it. And that's just an attest of what faith can do, and your trust in the word. When he when when Daniel was in the lion's den,
Mm-hmm.
he trusted in the Lord. When the 3 Hebrew boys were bound and thrown in that fiery furnace, they trusted in God. And I
Right.
look back at them, and I take from them, just them two right there. And there's many more of of uh, of God's on time grace and His mercy and His strength that He gives us. Um, it wasn't the fact that Daniel was able to kill the lions; it was the fact that God shut the lions' mouths
Right.
to where they didn't harm him, and they listened to God, because God, see, and that's another thing you have to remember. We serve the Creator. We should not be afraid of the creation.
Right.
And a lot of times we allow the creations to get under our skin. We don't
So
we
this
don't
is.
ex-
I have a question for somebody else who's going through what you're going through. I mean, you're a father, and you had a great relationship with your son. I mean, based on him being on Therapy Thursday and just the relationship, because he always talked about trying to be like his father, which I think is the greatest thing in the world when a young man say, I want to be like my dad. So that's a missing piece. How do you help someone else who's going through what you're going through? How do you get to that place to help another man? Because a lot of times men are silent. Men don't talk. Men just carry their weight and keep it moving. You told me you walk, so that means you're exercising because you're in that truck all day too. How do you take care of you?
Well, you know that, and that's how I take care of me. I take care of me first, making sure I take care of God's business, because He said, "Seek first ye the kingdom of God, and all His righteousness be added." So that's what I seek first, because I make sure that I don't skip over that, because that's what wakes me up. When He wakes me up with a sound mind, it keeps my mind sound, and it just, you feel a transformation in you. I don't know how many of y'all ever saw The Godfather. I think it was part 3, where he lost his daughter, where his daughter was shot, and he screamed. He screamed so loud that his voice went out in his scream, and then it went out for a second, and it came back extra louder. And that's how you feel. There's nothing gonna take that away. That's how you feel. And sitting home and walloping in it, being upset at everybody, snapping at everybody, it's not gonna bring your loved one back. But you feel like that. But you feel like that.
Right.
But because if you know whose you are, and you know you're a child of the Most High, you're adopted into the holy family, and you just take comfort in knowing that, hey, like you said. So I'm going to share something with you guys I haven't shared with you guys yet. There's a young lady named Ruby out in Las Vegas. I'm not going to give you the long story. I'm trying to give you the shortest version I can. She, and I know you guys know that I admittedly said that I know that either my son had enough breath to pray out to the Lord, and God was there. There was a young lady named Ruby in Las Vegas where Anthony's car stopped after he had been shot. His car stopped there. And I don't know how I tried calling her yesterday. I did, and she texted me back and said she was gonna get the kids some food. She'll call me back. Never call me back. So anyway, maybe she's trying to figure it out. Anyway, she's dealing with something. But I'll keep going. Anyway, she found some family members on social media that had commented on Anthony's page. She reached out. She finally got a hold of my ex-wife, who stepped up and helped raise Anthony since 5 years old. And she reached out, talked to Shari, and she wanted to talk to me. Shari got her number. Shari explained to her that give him a moment. He's still processing. He will give you a call. So I called her yesterday. She was there with Anthony, speaking to him. He was speaking to her. She's a godly woman. And like I said, I knew God is going to send an angel. And I knew it. Not even knowing this happened, I knew it. That's what belief does. That's what trust does. And that's what confirmation does. So I'm going to send you guys pictures. I have not made it I did not go to Vegas. I had no intention on going to Vegas, but now I do. I wasn't going to go see my son, but I wasn't, and I'm not, and he's going to be cremated. It should have happened yesterday. So anyway, I left that up to my ex-wife now. So she made a memorial for Anthony right there where it happened. It's beautiful. I'm going to send you guys pictures. This is a perfectly strange woman. But mind you, none of us are strangers if you're in the body of Christ. Because we seek and we seek and we praise and we worship one God. And that's the true and living God, Almighty, creator of the heavens and earth. And she was there with him. So to know he didn't pass away alone and transition alone, that brings that comfort, right? But how about them families that don't have that, right?
Right.
I totally get it. I do believe in God, but God don't let these things happen, y'all. I'm telling you. Don't get that in your mind. Don't get fixated on that. Don't think that it happened to you, because it didn't. It didn't happen to you. And that's the selfish thinking. It didn't happen to you. God's plan and his timing is with the individual, your loved one. you know, and just knowing that, hey, God is a perfect God, you know.
I
So
mean,
it's hard.
the part
It's not
I'm
gonna be
excited
easy.
about.
It's not gonna be easy. It's no cut and dry. There's no gray. There's no black and white. It's a gray all the way. And everybody deals with it their way. Some people deal with it in regret. And I think actually that's what his mama and his sister's dealing with it. His mom and his oldest sister, my oldest child, are dealing with it through regret a lot. A lot of it is through regret because they kind of cut Anthony off, and and he kind of cut them off because it was, my grandson is going to be 4 in a couple of months, and my oldest daughter never seen him.
Wow.
Never spent time with him. So I think it's a more regret. You guys catch what I'm getting this at? Didn't
Right.
take advantage of the time that Anthony had or what we had him for the 32 years, because on this side, on our side, my side, on this side, in the Elk Grove side, oh, Anthony knew he was welcome. He had combination door locks. He was welcome. He had my garage door combination. Anthony walk in and come out, and he was just he was the big brother to these brothers out here that they needed at the time. Play basketball with him, teach him this, move this, do all that stuff. That was him. We never took it for granted. We were there from day one. So there's no regret in our mourning. It's it's a it's a missing and a memory mourning. That's what we do. And it's a sudden grief, which is the hardest. Um, but hey, we take it in stride. We don't
Right.
just, you don't give in to what people are saying, and people gonna say some stupid stuff.
Of course.
People gonna say some
Of
dumb
course.
stuff,
Right.
and then you give them that mercy and that grace that God has given you, mercy and
Right.
grace. They're trying, they're reaching out. You know what I'm saying? So respect that. They're gonna say some crazy stuff. Um, it's just that sometimes people do things, and they're gonna send you some crazy stuff. My brother sent me some crazy stuff. I haven't talked to him yet. He sent me messages and calling me back and forth. I'm good right now. Let me just do my thing. At the same time, you remember we ain't kids no more. We grown men, and I just lost a kid, so it's time
And it's
for
okay
fullness.
not to be okay.
Exactly, it's okay not to be okay.
Right.
Nothing's wrong with it. I'm
And man,
letting.
the one part I want to I thank God for you having enough faith to know that God was going to send an angel or send someone to be there with your son. I applaud you, bro. Knowing that your son would have been by himself, but God just sent
And I told you
someone
guys on the line.
time
I
when
said some
you did
some.
tell us.
I
You
told
definitely
you
told
on the
us.
line, not knowing. And the reason why I knew is because the God I serve. I
Right.
know I know how. You know what? How do you say? How did the Lord said the sheep know my voice, and
Yes,
I
yes.
know His
My
voice.
sheep know my voice. And a stranger they won't hear. But God sent someone. Man,
Amen.
you not at peace, regardless, because I think even while we watched Alex transition and while we was there praying, he was at total peace. You know what I'm saying? So when you got somebody touching and agreeing with you and praying with you, when you're transitioning, man, they don't even want to be here. They good. They good. So I praise God and I lift you up every day because I'm a father and I haven't experienced what you experienced, but we lost a child. And man, for you to have that much faith in God, to know that someone was going to be there, man, I applaud you as a father. I applaud you as you going through what you're going through, and you still got a smile on your face. Everybody can't say that. Some people pretty much lose their mind, especially people who are grieving, and they grieving because they got regret, and you got peace. Because the Bible reminds us that He'll give us a peace that passes all understanding. So, bro, I applaud you. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to take that moment just to tell you I applaud you as a father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
I
applaud you,
appreciate
bro.
it. I'm trying to find, I don't know why they're not loading. It's funny, they're not loading up on my phone, but yeah, there's three pictures. Now this woman did this. Hopefully I'll speak to her today.
Okay.
Um, but I'm gonna send you guys these pictures.
Yeah.
Um,
Just put it in our
and
group, and then I'll see can I
yeah,
post
yeah, go. I'm gonna send it to you, and you go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna send you now. This is a woman that it happened like near her home. I think she said.
it. Okay.
As far as what I haven't talked to her now. This is my my ex-wife, and I told my ex-wife yesterday, and I told her yesterday. Her name is Shari. I told her yesterday that hey, um, I told her you speak for me on this. So if I'm not saying anything, you speak for me. I told the detectives all that. I said, uh, you know, Shari is running, is speaking for me right now. Um, and anything needs to be said or translated, we can go through her because I'm not able to really listen with a good ear, right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
minister. So anyway, I did that, and that's another thing. A lot of times when you're dealing with it on your own, sometime,
Right.
well, I don't mean sometime. Well, this time I don't never had another time, and I don't want to see another time. When you're dealing with it on alone, you do need that person um, to help carry that weight from the questions and all these other things, and to let people know, hey, I'm not ignoring you, and a lot of people know that, hey, it's just a respect thing. I'm gonna give him his space, yada yada yada, and if they need to know anything, they'll just go to Shari, um, and it does help. It helps because it's going to be taken care of, and it's going to be taken care of right, um, and uh, it's a blessing that knowing this young lady named Ruby was there, and she created a memorial for him, not even not knowing him. Which founded WM. So yeah, man, it's definitely a process, man, that I'm going through. I'm able to talk about it now, at a more lengthy time frame. But hey, you know what? I think that brought me more comfort, and that's how God knows how to come. So when you ask for, Lord, I need you, Holy Spirit, I need that comforting spirit right now, and I need you, I need you, I need you. That's the response, because God said, I, that's the response. Ruby is that response to
Right.
that part of it. I didn't know it, but I did. But I do know my God. Faith is the things of substance of things hoped for, and the
That's
evidence
right.
of things not seen.
Yes, sir. That is definitely, man, a blessing to know that God put a Ruby in Vegas to be at the right place at the right time.
Now, if you want to get deeper,
Go ahead.
I haven't done it yet, but if you want to get deeper, Google Ruby. I haven't Googled it. The actual jewel, what it stands for, where it came from. I haven't did it. But Ruby, it just stands out. Ruby's just not a name, right?
Right.
It's a jewel. It, in biblical time, there were rubies. So if something has a significant to Ruby, and I haven't looked at it yet, because it just gives me more to look forward to when I do. I've already thought about that, but it just gives me more to look forward to, more comforting. There's a message that God was sending through Ruby, the name Ruby. There's something else in there. That's the kind of belief that I got.
Man. Yeah,
I'm just
bro.
I haven't did it, but that's the belief I got. The kind of God I have that communicates. You have to rightfully divide His word. You got to know His word. You got to know who He is, and His blessings come the way they come. They don't come the way earthly. The joy He gives isn't the joy the world gives. It's not. It's not going to be the same. Don't think about it being the same.
It says a ruby is a precious gemstone of the Corydon family, known for its deep, vibrant red color, derived from traces of chromium, The word originates from the Latin ruber, meaning red, symbolically represents love, passion, courage, and vitality in the traditional love and passion. Due to its fiery color, the ruby has long been associated with the heart deep romance and strong life forces, protection and power. Historically, ancient cultures, including believe rubies serve as protection, and because it's significant, endures commitment and warmth in the traditional. So you got warmth,
Fire.
you got love, you got invincibility, you got courage, you got the heart,
But that
man.
fire, that fire part, that fire, like
Yeah,
you say,
that love,
that
passion,
fire.
courage,
So,
and
so
vitality.
what is the Bible say about his eyes look like fire, right?
Right, fiery red.
So you see what I'm saying? There's something significant in that. But I mean, and that I'm not, some people will say, well, you just dig. No, no, no.
No,
God
no, no.
speaks in parables. He speaks through things. He speaks through anything. He'll use it, and you just have to know that. If you read the Bible, one scripture in Matthew is going to be it'll take you all the way back to the Old Testament or to the New Testament. It'll take you back and forth, and they mean something. When God
Yeah,
speaks, man, every word
but
means
just
something.
the
It's got
part that Ruby was there with love and compassion
yes,
and protection and power, she was
yes,
there.
she was
So
there.
you can't tell me God wasn't showing him love and passion at the same time while he was going through what he was going through while he was transitioning.
Do you see the memorial I
So
sent you?
I gotta get it in a minute. But yeah, man, I'm so excited, bro. I'm so excited what God is doing for you and for how he shows up, man. Isn't it amazing how God shows up? But not only do he show up, he show off.
But you know what? Yeah, it is a it's a wonderful and amazing thing, but it's not a surprising thing. That's the beautiful thing. I'm not surprised by it because I believed and I knew it. They were surprised when the Lord came and knocked on the door after his crucifixion, after he was
Right.
crucified. They were surprised at that knock on the door when he rose on that third day. They were praying, but they were surprised when that knock came, and then he announced who it was. It is I.
Right.
And they were surprised.
How are you surprised about somebody you praying for?
And you knew that he said he was going to rise on the third day. He was going to rebuild the church on the third day. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not surprised by it. Not one bit am I surprised by Ruby being there.
And I'm excited, bro, for you.
And I mean,
I mean,
it goes more than that. From what I haven't talked to her, but from what I've heard is that uh, I think the detective or the cop, somebody said, um, well, why are you saying this? He was a criminal. Or why are you standing up for him or something in that nature. So we're investigating all that stuff right now. So we're seeing.
well, man, we're constantly keeping you in prayer. We're constantly lifting you up, and we know that God don't make mistakes. That's the one thing we do know, that when he shows up, he shows off every single time. So I don't care what nobody think or say. God does exactly what God said he's going to do. And I'm not surprised about nothing he do. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you and everybody else who's connected to us. Let me ask Donald Williams, how do you deal with self-care? Because you got to take care of yourself before you take care of your family. What do you do for self-care, Donald Williams? Go ahead, Don.
You know, when I think about self-care, um, I don't know if I actually give myself time for self-care. And I say that because I'm a coach. So I'm always trying to help kids get better, trying to win games, um, attempting to win enough games so as a staff we can get out of here and I can better for my family. Um, always thinking about my twin girls. Dealing with my son right now. Um, and I'm just between, um, like with him right now, I really want to kick him out because he's doing some things. I talked to his PO, I talked to a police officer tomorrow. I mean, yesterday, I got to go get his police report. Um, because with him, it's just like, man, I got 11-year-old twins here. I got an 83-year-old mother-in-law here, and you're doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Now, some of that is his mental health, which I explained that to his PO when I was with them yesterday. Um, and some of it is him. Um, so I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Self-care. I I don't know if I've even thought about no self-care, man. And that's just being 100% honest.
Well, only reason I'm asking about self care because last week I ended up in the hospital for 3 days because I haven't been taking care of myself like I should. Now I'm going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to the gym, but at some point, how are you going to help your family, and how are you going to deal with that mental health with your son, dealing with your losses if you don't take care of Don? Because if you don't take care of Don, all the stuff you're doing is don't make sense because you got to take care of Don.
Well, man, I work out every day. I mean, I'm a coach, so we got a weight room facility. So as far as stuff like that, I'm working out, looking out for my body. Probably need to do a better job on my blood pressure and stuff like that. But so I'm working out. I think the other thing is when God allows you to do stuff that you enjoy. For me, that's some type of self care because I'm doing something. I'm coaching. I'm doing something I love. A lot of people are working jobs and they don't love what they do.
Okay.
So for me, that's also some self care in the fact that, man, I'm doing something I love to do. Um, I'm watching these twin girls grow up and they're playing. They're doing track. They're doing volleyball. They're doing gymnastics. They're doing softball. They're doing all this stuff. And I'm with a head coach who cares about family. So it allows me to make sure I can do some things with family when I need to. You know what I mean? So just from that standpoint of self-care, yeah, I work out and I'm trying to do better with my body. And like I said here, sometime in August, once these guys kind of leave for a couple of days, 7 days, I'm gonna probably do a 21-day fast before my actual basketball season start. Funny thing about fast, and I don't know if this is the way it worked for you guys, but man, every time I fast, it seems like something happens. But it don't stop me from fasting, right?
Right.
Because I know God, and in that fast, He's trying to tell you something.
Right.
Um, but yeah, yeah, I get some self care in when I'm going recruiting sometimes, and I'm away. Like I'll be out there. I'll be able to maybe hang out with you for a half a day when I come to North Carolina because I got to come out there and do some recruiting. Maybe we'll actually get the restaurant right this time. But but I'll be out there. Man, shoot, in 2-3 weeks I'll be out that way.
So,
18th, I think.
so this is a question too for Pastor D. Pastor D, how do you take care of self care? Because Amar got a whole regimen he does. Pastor D, are you available? What do you do for self care? Because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your family? What do you do for self care?
Well, the main thing I do is I protect my peace.
Okay.
That is my main foundation, is protecting my mindset. Um, I spend a lot of time by myself. I'll break away, and the main thing I'm always at the golf course. That's like my sanctuary where I can just go up there. Sometimes I'm hitting golf balls, sometimes I'm putting, sometimes I just go up there and do nothing. I just need to be in a space of quiet. I do a lot of walking, you know, um, and every now and then I will, slip away and just go sit somewhere by the water just to reflect and to clear my mind. I realize more and more the older I get, um,
that my peace is more important than anything else. And then, I'm very conscious about how I eat and what I eat. Um, I'm not, I have not been as active as I should in exercising on a daily basis. But thank God I still keep a slim frame. But that's something I need to do. Um, but yeah, I'm real big proponent, man, on protecting my peace because there's a lot of chaos. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so if you're letting a lot of stuff get to you mentally and emotionally, and you're not protecting that space, it's really not going to help you at all. I am really in admiration of Amar, of how he take care of himself and the things that he do. I need to adapt some of some of that. Just, sometimes when we're online and he's out running or doing whatever he's doing, that's amazing to me. I used to be in that mindset. I done got lazy, so I need to figure out how to get back in that.
Hey man, this dude told us every stop he do about 25 push-ups. He eating healthy. He taking turmeric. This dude is amazing. I'm just saying, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that. And that's another good thing. My son and my oldest daughter, Danielle, are always sending me things that I can do. Like I drink coffee in the morning. I make sure I got cinnamon in it, no sugar. Um, I drink a lot of pomegranate juice and fresh beet juice, things of that nature. I don't eat a lot. But when I do eat, I try to make sure I'm eating something that's not going to, destroy my body. But yeah, I do admire Amar, man, for how he get down. I'm not gonna lie, the boy
Yeah,
is amazing.
yeah, man. Maybe only because he's 59 right now. He turned 60. I changed on that.
And the way he was jumping around on that stage last Saturday, I was like, oh my goodness.
Bro, all of a sudden you think he about 15, don't you?
Right. I was like, look at this boy. He running around here. I'm like, they
He
made
did
me
keep
feel.
his shirt on though. That's all I want to know. Did he
Yeah, he
keep
kept his shirt on. He kept his
it?
shirt
Okay,
on.
he kept his shirt. Because he'll snatch that shirt off in a minute, bro.
He kept his
I'm taking it off next show. I'm taking it off next show.
Hey man, that's the thing I said. I'm 65. I like saying that. I don't know why I like saying that. I'm 65. I ain't got time for foolishness. But for the energy that Amar has, bro, that he one time, Dwayne, this dude rode a bike, I think like 60 miles or something crazy. He dropped his car off in one part of Sacramento, I think at Folsom by the prison, and rode his bike back home. I know for a fact that's about 25, 30 miles.
See,
Like,
that's
crazy.
that boy got energy. Now I will, I say I
No,
walk a lot.
that was actually like 48 miles back to the house.
48 miles, bro.
My longest. It's funny because Mickey was like, "So are you gonna take the Jeep to the shop?" I said, "Yeah." She was like, "Well, how you gonna get back?" I said, "I'm put my bike in the back. I'm gonna ride back from. I'm gonna ride back." She said, You gonna ride back?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna ride the bike back. Oh, I'm good." She was like, "No, you not." I said, "Yes, I am." Next thing you know, I was coming in the house.
48 miles, bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
rode it back. It was cool though. It was a cool ride. Rode along the Folsom River uh dam or whatever it is, and it was all good. But my longest ride was 60 miles, and that when I first did that one hurt though. That one hurt.
I'm just
So
sitting on that little seat for 48 to 60 miles, bro.
first of all, a real rider just don't sit down like that all the time. You're standing up, pedaling, and you're getting momentum, and then you pedal, and then pause on one side, then you pedal, 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 then you pause on the other side. You're not even sitting down, you know. So
But you had some hills to climb too, right? You,
some little inclines, but no, not really, nothing major.
bro, I'm just amazed that 60 miles, your breathing has to be on point. Your health got to be on point. Everybody can't do no 60 miles. And then probably when you got home, you probably did something else. What in the world?
He right went in the gym and lifted the whole gym.
Right, because when you see him on the stage dancing, you like he gonna be somewhere in the back.
Man, I was watching. I said, "Look at my boy." I'm like, "This dude is incredible."
And then got up and walked around and probably hugged everybody on the whole freaking show.
And that man is incredible. That's all I got to say.
Right.
I
But
appreciate that, brother.
you know, the
Yeah.
most I've ever walked as far as steps has been 27,000 steps. Um, and that was basically on a work site, working with my boy Mitch, just back and forth, doing stuff, not even realizing that I was walking that much. Um, and then there's been times that I would leave the house. One time I left the house here, walked to from Antioch to Brentwood and back, and that was like 16,000 steps. You know, sometimes I just unconsciously will do it because, you know, my phone, you know, that it picks up the steps, everything I do. If I'm swinging golf clubs, it picks up, you know, my movement. So, you know, sometimes unconsciously I'm doing a lot. But I need to have a more conscious effort in helping, you know, my self-care routine.
So my question is, um, and it's for Amar, when you knew it was 48 miles, or you just start riding? That's my question. Or even with the 60 miles, did you know it was 60 miles, or you just start riding?
Um, I didn't know I was gonna do 60 when I did the 60. The 48, I knew it because I put it in, and I was like, oh, okay, let's rock and roll.
Okay, I'm gonna just ride 48 miles. You want to count miles? I'll be counting every mile. 47, 46, 39, 38, bro. I Yeah, I applaud you, bro. I can't. I ain't gonna say I can't do it. I just don't want to do it. I do 5 miles and I come home and I sleep the rest of the day. That day is over. For
Well,
five,
you know, it goes back to what I said earlier regarding mindset too. You know what I'm saying? So he had it already set in his mind that he was going to do it. So when you put your mind to something and your mind is at peace with it, you can do anything.
and
That's
that's when the scripture come back. I can do all things through Christ, what
right,
strengthens me. Because
right,
he had to be a determination, and part of that determination is God is waiting for us to make up our mind and do
exactly,
what we said we're gonna do. That's how we
exactly,
ended up on a prayer call for 17 plus years, because we make up our mind to get on the call. We don't not make up our mind. We make up our mind. This is what we're gonna do, and then
Right.
a prayer call turned into a brotherhood, and those are the people we pretty much talk to throughout the day. You know, when something going on, we reach out to our prayer call. We have a thing at our church. I forgot what it's called. I'm gonna get it and post it because I was gonna send it to our prayer call. But you pray for 12 people. You know, um, three
oh
family
yeah,
members,
I
three.
forgot what that's called. I remember when he showed that.
Yeah, you pray for three family members. You pray for three people you don't know, and then so it's 12 people you pray for, but it's 500 people praying for those same 12 people that you're praying for. And that is amazing, that somebody you praying for in your family, somebody you praying for in your community, and you got 500 other people praying for that person, bombarding heaven. And the reason I know it works, because when I was in the hospital, over 300 people prayed for me, and I got healed because people prayed for me. when I had a heart attack, when my wife called Amar and the group of guys got together to pray for me, and then all the other people who joined in and prayed. You can't tell me when a group of people are bombarding heaven on your behalf, bro, things change. So if you can imagine having 500 people pray for your 12 people, and then you praying for their 12 people, and 12, and on and on and on and on, life changes. Because heaven, you're bombarding heaven, and the Bible says that God inhabits. That means he hangs out in the praise. So why are you praying for people? Because I always pray for my social media, my TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook. You know, I always pray for Men of Vision Empowered. I always pray for Rapture. I always pray for Move. I always pray for all of my friends, all of my family members. I pray for so many people, bro. And bro, that's scripture. So I'm impressed, man, when men pray. And then when men pray, it's different. Go ahead, D. Go ahead, Pastor D. I'm looking for why you get ready to talk.
No, I'm just, you know, it's just,
I'm trying to think of
it's
thing.
really focusing in on what the scripture says and really believing it and speaking it and bringing it to life is powerful. I know it's the breastplate. That's what it's called
Breastplate. I was
that
just going
pastor
to
is
say
using.
it's the breastplate.
Pastor Bishop Jackson is using the breastplate of the priest, and the jewels that's on there. And he's using that as a foundation for people to pray for one another. And I know he got different names on there. And I think that's a powerful thing to consistently do because it helps to improve your prayer life, but also it helps you to reach out to others and help others, you know, to consistently pray for others. And once we focus in on, you know, exactly what God wants us to do and how he wants us to do it, that's a means of self-care for us as well, because a lot of times it takes our minds off of what we're going through because we're concerned about the condition or situation of somebody else. And I think that's absolutely incredible, you know. And
Amen.
we need more tools like that, just like you said, a lot
Yeah.
more tools like that.
And it's big, bro. It's big. Amar, you still there? Oh, there go Amar. Yeah, Amar. So our church has this
Yep.
thing called breastplate. And what we do, like I said, you pray for 12 people, and then you put that in the breastplate, and all of those 12 people are praying for 12 people. So you get 2 people to pray to join you in prayer, who's always lifting you up, and then they get 2 different people, and the other person get 2 different people, because y'all all can't go backwards and forth and pray for each other. But you know that those 2 people are praying for you. And then when you connect it to the breastplate, over 500 people or 1,000 people are praying for you daily. And I think that is that's big, bro. When you talk about the breastplate.
Indeed. Indeed.
And that's what Move is almost. Move is like a breastplate, bro, because we're all praying for one another. That's why on Fridays I try to say, how was your week? Let's check in. Let's see how was your week. Because you got to get to a place where you check in. I know we always pray for everybody else, but at some point we got to check in on each other, because we're always going to lift up our family. We're always going to lift up our spouse. We're always going to lift up our community. We're always lifting everybody else up. But when do we take the time to check on ourselves to make sure we're good? And that's the thing that's big to me. I want to make sure we're good. And that part I'm excited about, bro. That's what I'm excited about. So again, we're talking about self-care, and I'm asking you, what are you doing to take care of self first? And I don't think it's selfish when you talk about taking care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ever flown on an airplane, and all of us have been on a plane, and the first thing they say on the plane, you get the oxygen first, and then you help the person next to you. So that's what it says. When you fly, You get it first, and then you take care of everybody else. And don't be trying to fly, and the plane start crashing, and you trying to put oxygen on everybody else. Then you can't breathe, and you pass out. And I know quite a few of us on this line flies a lot. I think Pastor. I think Don flies probably more than most of us, and I'm sure he knows. You hear it so much, you don't even have to listen to the stewardess because you already know what she's gonna say. When they come down, put yours on first, and then you can help somebody else. And that's what I'm asking each one of us in life. How are you taking care of you first, and then you can help everybody else? And without that, I get it. You're taking care of everybody else, but what about you? What about your health? I was in the hospital, and this is the crazy thing about me going in the hospital. It was on the anniversary of my dad's death. And I didn't even realize it because my sons all calling me, tripping, everybody checking on me back to back. And I realized that they was tripping because it was the anniversary of my father's death that I ended up in the hospital. And then the next day, it was Michael Jackson's anniversary death. And I'm just saying the devil is a lie. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of them situations got nothing to do with me. But my daddy was 88 and Michael Jackson lived a long life. That's all I'm talking about. And I'm here because the prayers of the righteous availeth much. But even though people are praying for us, we got to take care of ourselves. Because I look at people in church right now. The church, the African-American church, has the most unhealthy people in the world. Unhealthy. They eating all that food, all that fried food, all that stuff. And I ain't going to mention it because Amar said I'd be, But we're still eating slave food and we're living in the 21st century. Why in the world are we still eating slave food? Why in the world we're overeating? Why are we not just eating to live? And some of us just eating. Just eat. And the Bible talks about gluttoniness as a sin. If you just eating just because it's there, that's a sin too, because you're not taking care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. And that's why people's mental health is bad. That's why people doing, man, listen, if I see somebody drinking all the time, smoking all the time, crazy sexual relationships all the time, they're hiding from dealing with their self. They're hiding. I'm going to numb this pain by having sex. I'm going to numb this pain by drinking alcohol. I'm going to numb this pain by smoking weed or taking pills or doing something crazy. We're trying to numb the pain when we need to deal with the pain and take care of ourselves. If pain is there, pain is reminding you. The one thing I understand about grief, the only way you can grieve is you have to love. And if you don't love, you can't grieve. That's the only way you can deal with grief. You had to love in order to deal with grief. If I didn't love Alex, we wouldn't have been grieving Alex. You know what I'm saying? So love, the price you pay for grief, the price you pay for love is grief at some point in your life. Because your parents leave, loved ones leave, siblings leave. That's the price you pay for love. It is grief. And I teach grief counseling. So, but again, we got to take care of ourselves, y'all. And I'm noticing Donald drinking water. I'm drinking water. I'm adding protein to it. That glass didn't just turn dirty. That was some protein. I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be laying up in the hospital with bad kidneys. I don't want to be laying up in the hospital. You don't get no rest in the hospital anyway. Every 3 hours, checking your blood. Every 3 hours, checking stuff. Sticking you with needles all day, all night. I don't care how hard you are. After they done stuck you with enough needles, you like, woo, that one cool. So I'm just putting out there, y'all. Your health is your wealth. So, and here go our boy, Amar Clear, just doing this back. We talking about your health is your wealth anymore. We're talking about the most unhealthy people I know are in church.
Ooh, you know, I went to an event just recently, and a lot of beautiful people were there, you know, and beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, colors. But I was looking at our sisters. They're my age, but they look like they could have been my grandmother. We gotta take better care of ourselves. It's amazing how many of our sisters don't take care of themselves, and they looked. I don't know, man.
Just keep it a buck, bro. We on here, bro. You gotta keep it a buck, bro. And it's some of our brothers too, bro.
I was gonna say that it's
Go
not
ahead,
just.
go ahead,
It's,
Will.
I was gonna chime in, but I was waiting for him to stop speaking. It's not just the women. It's the community as a whole.
Right.
I see it. I work out probably about 5 to 6 days a week, and when I'm typically not at the gym, I'm out on the golf course. And me and my workout partner, who's also a brother, and then one of my workout partners is a female, but she's Latin. And me and him was talking about it, and it's dissipating at a massive rate right now. You're starting to see less and less people of color in the gym, or just being active in general. And I can personally say, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've combated some health issues. Obviously, you guys know that because we've had those conversations. But I probably wouldn't be in the status that I'm currently in if I wasn't in the shape that I was in when I got diagnosed. So I mean, like most of you guys know, I take chemo daily. You know what I'm saying? I self-administer chemo every day, 5 milligrams. You know what I'm saying? But the things that keep me going is the going and playing 18 holes rather than riding, walking, getting out, getting some sunlight, walking, going to the gym. Most of the time when I do travel, because I travel a bit, rather than renting a car, walking, things like that. It's dissipating in our community, especially in the generation behind us, and it's bad. Actually, me and my wife were having this similar conversation recently, because you can see it. If you're looking behind us, you can see it. I know there's quite a few of us on this call typically that have children who are active. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're looking at the active children community, that community's changing.
Yeah.
It's not as many of us as there was, because we're not doing that anymore. And I when me and my workout partner, his name's Jamar. Me and Jamar was talking about it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. You know, we could all sit here and say, "Oh man, it's the video games, it's this, it's the social media." I do think some of that plays a role, but it's at a massive rate.
Right.
It's not the and Don, you probably can relate to this. It's not the one of 500,000 selection for the draft. It's at a massive rate. The activity level across the generations. I'm 47. Is just dissipated.
You're right.
Like, and Amar is right. I I still live in a community where I pretty much grew up, and I do see people, and it ain't just the women that I just be like, hey man, life is whooping you, dog.
Right.
I don't know if you seeing that, but I'm sure the people that seeing you could see it's whooping you. You know what I'm saying? And you do have to do something about it. I mean, like I said, I can only speak for self. I know for myself, when I was told I did have to take this medication, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Because I think I shared with you guys, my best friend died in 22, 21, 22 from stage 4 lung cancer. I watched chemo kill him. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I'm saying that like I literally watched it. I watched him go from being healthy to, hey man, I got stage 4 lung cancer. I got to start taking this chemo. They gave him the liquid, then they gave him the pills, and he had an allergic reaction to the pills, man. That um eventually made his throat like razor blades, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? It was probably about, I don't know, maybe 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Tops. You know, but when you have those close relationships and you know those things are coming, you know, I don't share this with a lot of people, but I share it with you guys. I remember getting that telephone call. You know, we were really close. I was friends with him for, I don't know, man, 31 years. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was at work and he called me and he was like, hey man, what you doing? You know, that's, you know, we all got those friends. Hey man, what you doing?
Amen. Amen. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey man, what you doing? Hey, man, I am busy. What do you need? You know what I'm saying? So, and he said, hey, when you get off work, man, come by the house and check me out. 2 weeks later, he was dead.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if anybody's listening that we don't talk to regularly, my point is, you know what I'm saying? If you're not taking care of yourself, take care of yourself. And that's coming from somebody that has to do it. I don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, I had to make some life choices without going into detail. I'll just make this quick and short. I got a 5-year-old son, but I also got a 25-year-old daughter. I got a daughter who just turned 19 yesterday, and a 14-year-old daughter. And I was coming back from when I got my diagnosis a little bit under 2 years ago. I was coming back from Pismo Beach because me and my wife had went on an anniversary trip. So I got my diagnosis on my wedding anniversary. Um, and I said, I don't know if I'm taking medication. You know what I'm saying? Most of us is married on this call. And she looked over at me from the passenger seat, was like, yeah, I'm not about to raise this boy by myself. So in other words, I had a choice.
Right.
So in short, you know what I'm saying? If you're not taking care of yourself, man, you definitely should be taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated, do the things you got to do. I definitely have my challenges. I have my ups and down days, and different reactions to different things. But yeah, the rate of the dissipation of people that are actually taking their health and mental health and different things seriously is dissipating at an all-time massive rate. And it's crazy to me because you can literally you're watching it in real time.
Right. You're right.
And yeah.
I go to the gym, bro, and like you said, it's 90% everybody else. It's
Yeah.
less than 10% of us. And
Yeah.
and that's on a real. It's probably like 5% of us. Probably
Yeah.
5 out of 100.
I think, I mean, for me, it's different because I'm around athletes all day,
Okay.
every day, and so my head coach is big on us lifting as a staff. So we go. Nor a lot of times we go as a staff, and when our players are lifting, we're in there with them anyway. And so if you're gonna be in there, you might as well do something, right?
Right.
So I think if you're not motivated by others to help you, it's you get lazy, and then you're talking about people who work. You're talking about people who got kids, and so finding the time to be able to do some self-care, whether that's working out. My wife works 7 days a week. I'm on her butt all the time, but she is a mental health therapist. And at some point for me, it's like, okay, Lord, I mean, I want to take some pressure off this woman because she's had my back. But now she don't work out, still look good. Some people got those type of genes. But she walks a lot in Vegas Thursday through Saturday when she's seeing her clients. So I think I think it's important that see some of us that have some things that happen, right? That has forced us to take that exercise in a little bit more serious.
Right.
And so all of us haven't had that, right? Or you don't have that person that's push you and say, hey man, let's get our gym butt in the gym because we getting fat. You know what I mean? So I think it's a catch-22 because you got people working, you got people taking care of kids. And so it's hard to find that self-care.
Hey,
And sometimes that self-care comes from something happening where you're forced to, man, I gotta get in this gym. I gotta eat a little bit better. I gotta drink water. I need to fast one day, fast another. You know what I mean? So I think it comes from. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I can't even hear you.
I hear you.
But I think it just comes from life and things happening. Some of us, I've been an athlete all my life, so I pushed every kid I've had have been athletes. I've just been blessed that way. Now my twins are athletes. One better than the other, of course. Sometimes that's the way it happens. But I think sometimes with this exercising thing and eating right and attempting to living right, sometimes drastic things have to happen for you to get there.
So as a pastor, I was 283 pounds. There's a famous pastor in the city of Charlotte. He is so obese, he has to sit down to preach, literally, because he was leaning on the pulpit for a while. I was saying, Don, there's a famous pastor in Charlotte who has to sit down in a chair, a big chair, to preach. And at one point, he is so obese, he can't even walk. He's on a walker now. Now, at this point in your life, it's almost like Rance Allen. You got to make a conscious decision. You might not be fornicating, you might not be lying, you might not be cussing, but you're a glutton. And you're going to tell me you're going to die one spoonful at a time? Common sense tells you when you take off that shirt, bro, you need to exercise. That's common sense. Or you need to walk. Or you need to stop eating. Or you need to go to the doctor and get some help to help you stop eating. And that's the conversation I have with my own child. That at some point, you have to make a decision. And it shouldn't come to health to tell you your health shouldn't be bad to tell you you shouldn't be overweight. I see all kind of people who used to be athletes and they're obese now. And you're like, what happened?
Well, some of that too is, I think something that we all forget about in life, and to me, it's one of the most important things in life, other than the good Lord being in your life, is discipline.
Right.
And people don't have discipline. And I think that's one of the number one things that cause people heartache is you don't have discipline.
And I'm talking about people who are preaching don't have discipline.
Yeah, it's still the discipline, right? And that was the one thing about the 10-day fast when I just did it is I was proud that God showed me that I had discipline. Because I really didn't know if I could do it because Wood was trying to get me to do a 21-day fast with him. And I told him, I was like, man, I ain't did a 3-day fast. Why would I look like doing a 21-day fast, fool? But but once I did the 10-day fast, what it showed me is through God, I got discipline. And
Right.
then God showed me like you can do the 21-day fast, and I need you to do that before your season start. But it's discipline, man. I think that's the one thing in our life that sometimes hurts us as our discipline. And you so when we talk about Amar and the stuff he does and all of that, it's because he's disciplined. And then once you have that discipline and once you got that routine, you upset if you miss a day of doing something
Right.
because now you done disciplined your mind.
Yeah.
And that's just with anything.
Because, bro, I'm looking at leaderships, right? And I've been around pastors, and I'm looking at them like, are you kidding me? You the leader, and you're obese. You're not telling them nothing about exercising. You telling them you need your tithes and offering, and after we're going out to dinner. Or some churches got a kitchen in there, and they cooking fried fish and fried stuff, and we're gonna have a dinner after church, bro. If you do not take care of your health, you're going to end up dead because the Bible promised us 70. And if you die any sooner than that, that's because, and I'm not saying everybody, because people get cancer and people get different things, but a lot of it, again, you're right. Even the Bible talks about discipline, obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to be a leader, you got to lead your home, your family, your ministry. You got to lead everything. You can't be sitting around there obese and then trying to preach the gospel to somebody. How are you preaching the gospel and you obese? And I'm not, nobody's better than nobody. I just started working out again. And I got to do 3 days a week. And then following the 3 days a week, I'm going to swim in between the other 2 days. But again, I'm learning how to become disciplined. Why? Because I ended up in the hospital for 3 days. Because I thought it was all about being slim. But now I gotta change it. They telling me you gotta put protein in your diet. Now I'm putting protein in my diet. Telling me you can't eat fried fries no more, even though I love them. I can't eat them no more. I just won't eat them no more. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
So I got a question for Don, and then a comment on something that you said. My comment is, I think that, and I was having this conversation with somebody at dinner one night, is, when it comes to leadership, you gotta, at least this is my philosophy. I can only speak for myself. I lead side by side.
Okay.
That's just my leadership philosophy. But part of my other leadership philosophy is you got to meet people where they're at.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't always agree with the you can't eat fried, you can't do this, you can't. I'm not going. I go to the gym, like I said, 5 to 6 days a week. I ate some Popeyes yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So I believe my philosophy is I think everything it's the moderations you do it in.
Right.
Hey,
It-
God said he made everything clean. Don't be listening to Shaq, man. He'll make
No, I'm saying what I think. I'm saying what
I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing.
Hey, I'm telling you what they said I can't eat. And if I can't eat
but
it,
I do commend those who choose not to eat meat because it's a different discipline. I tried it. I'm not going to front. I couldn't do it. I'm not that disciplined. So I traveled too much at the time, and I just couldn't find the things that I wanted, and I got tired of eating veggie patties from Subway. That's another topic. That was my comment. I think Dom jumped off.
no, he back
But
on. I just put it back on. Go ahead.
okay, Don, there you go. So my question to you was gonna be this. We always talk about the accountability factor in this group on Thursdays.
And I heard you say when you were speaking, I heard you say, people have things going on, the kids got practice, the kids got this, the kids got that, right?
Absolutely.
This is what my question is to you. I mean, yeah, the kids had practice. I was at softball practice for 3 hours last night. I live it. I
Hmm.
I, I was actually talking to my mother this morning because I talked to my mom on the way home from the gym every morning. I do softball with my youngest daughter. I do softball 6 days a week
Okay.
out of
Yep.
7.
Yep.
Right? I'm that parent. Um, it's 3 hours. Walk around the park.
Well, if you walking around the park, you might miss some hit or get a catch.
You gonna see them hit. You gonna
I'm
see them
messing
hits in
with
the
you.
game. You a coach. You know what I'm saying? How you practice is how you play. So,
You know what though? I do see people do that. I see people at the softball field that they'll be walking around the park. Um, I choose not to do it because I actually work out. So, but I like to watch when I'm watching practices. I like to watch them so I can be able to tell my girls, what they need to do, how they need to improve, what they did well, and then so when we go out and work on those things, I try to do stuff with them quite a bit because as a coach, man, once my season start and once all these guys start getting here on Sunday, man, my time becomes real hectic.
yeah,
So anytime I got downtime, and like I said, I work for a coach who believes in family, so that's a great thing. But I try to spend as much time with my girls as possible when I'm watching stuff. I actually coached them this year with another coach for softball because he didn't have no help, which I actually ended up having a lot of fun, which I shouldn't say I didn't think I would have fun, but girls are just,
they're different. Yeah, I think he bounced out.
Yeah, he'll be back in.
All
We
right.
got Chris in too. So, Chris, we're talking about how do you take care of yourself first before you out here trying to help every single body else. And one thing Don did just say, and I agree with Will, because when I take my daughter to college uptown, while I'm instead of sitting in the car, I just walk around downtown while I'm waiting on her. You know what I'm saying? So um, I don't just sit around. I try to find something else to do.
Yeah, and
Uh,
that question wasn't a challenge. I just am more or less a strong believer in you find time for things that you want to do.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're sitting for 3 hours, you know what I'm saying, you can be active, if that makes sense. I think um sometimes the success level is ar- arrested based on people's perception of what they can't do. I was talking to a gentleman actually I practiced last night, and he was a ex coach. He's now just watching kids play, and he was like, the philosophy of the I can't. And I have that same philosophy. It's I can't. Well, it's not that you can't. So it's that you choose not to.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with it. And like you said you can't do the stuff you can't do, but you
I
know,
chose not to.
right. So when it comes down to when it comes down, I don't eat no meat, no fish, none of that, right? So I'm not knocking anybody else who do. And I love fries. And me and Amar was just talking about Five Guys and using this app. But they was telling me, like, look, we're trying to find out why your potassium is high. And these are some of the things that affect your potassium. I knew I went and got fresh fries every single day. every single
So you
day.
eat.
No. So they was like, okay, you're gonna have to stop doing that. You're gonna have to stop taking 1,000 milligram of magnesium. So when people tell me what I have to stop doing, I just stop. I'm not in negotiation for my health. They tell me to do it, you need to go back to the gym. I'm gone. Whatever you tell me I have to do, I'm going to do. Because at this age in my life, at 65, I ain't got time to be playing with my health. I ain't got time to be playing with nothing. Evidently they're practitioners. They got an idea what they're talking about. So I'm gonna just follow those rules and do whatever I gotta do. But my health is definitely my wealth. I got a 15-year-old over here with an attitude, a 18-year-old with an attitude. So they didn't ask to be here. So I gotta live for them. And then I got some grandkids living here. So if nothing else, if I just gotta be obedient for them, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna be dying one spoonful at a time, or fork, or fry, or something. So meat wasn't good for me. Fish ain't good for me. Chicken ain't good for me. It might be good for everybody else. It just didn't work for me. I tried some other stuff somebody had me to try. Almost made me throw up. So I won't be doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying what works for me. My health is my wealth. I do stuff. I commend Amar, who can ride a bike 48 miles, who can ride a bike 60 miles, who can perform at a high level and still work out and drive a van all day and work out. I commend him. I commend Anthony for once he get off from work, go walking whatever amount of miles. I commend Will, who works out every day, and you who work out. And I'm sure Chris out there working with those kids. I commend people who can do that. But I'm going to do what I can without feeling anything. But I'm going to still look at the fact, if you're the leader and you're obese, some stuff you're trying to check me on, I ain't really listening. I'm just saying. That's just me. I ain't listening because you ain't even got enough discipline to stop overeating.
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you, Chris.
Yeah, I feel you on the not eating meat. I'll be celebrating 10 years this year. But something that I definitely learned on that journey was, just because I stopped eating meat didn't mean that I was giving my body the correct nutrition,
Right.
or the correct nutrients. And I was subjected to wanting to eat fries all of the time. You know what I mean? Like all those potatoes, those starches, those carbs, you know what I mean? And realizing that I was not giving my body much of anything. So, you find yourself eating a whole bunch of fries and eating a whole bunch of bananas, and it's like, well, what do you think you're doing? You just feeding potassium, or you just feeding the starches, you feeding the carbs, and then those things turning into sugar in your body,
Right.
and then it's like and then those things dehydrate you. So it's like, just because I had to stop eating meat just didn't mean that I hadn't had to open my horizons to other things. You know what I mean? Eating more fruits. Finding out other ways that I can get my protein and my magnesium, my iron, and doing all of those things. Starting my morning off with some green juice. Get me some exercise, 30 minutes, don't matter what it is, because playing pro basketball and stopping to eat meat, like I had seen that my body was like it was in good shape, but I could tell that I was still missing some things that I knew that my body was able to generate off in the past, that I had to eat more. Now my food load is bigger. Now I'm eating more things or I'm taking herbs as well, drinking my teas in the morning, because those are the things that, help those deficiencies. So, yeah, man, obedience. I like to tell my kids that I train, if you can't control your gut, then you can't control your brain. And it's because your gut is your second brain. Your gut is where your intuition lies. Everything that goes in your gut becomes you. You know what I mean? Everything starts in the gut. You have an allergic reaction, something going on in your gut. You know, so you got to be able to control that first brain, but control that second brain as well. You know, that's after you going to work out and you telling your mom to drop you off at Wendy's. For what? You know, for what? Like, you just did a beautiful workout. Your body is feeling happy. It might feel a little tired. Hey, go get some. Your mom going to spend $15-20 on you to go get a $20 meal from McDonald's that got nuggets and burgers, when you could just go get you some kava, or go get you some Chipotle, or go get you something, you know what I mean, that is going to be um is going to continue the workout. You know, you don't want to burn a whole bunch of oils and fats and meat and all of that. You know, it's like, nah, we don't want that, bro. So, man, paying attention to your health is
So,
one of
so
the most.
how do you take care of yourself first, since you are a coach? Because we just had this conversation with Donald. He said he take care of everybody else. So Amar said he ride bikes, he work out every time he take a break. Anthony go for walks. Dwayne said he go for walks and just his peace. He take care of his peace. So how do you take care of Chris first? Because if you're flying, the airline says put the mask on your face first before you help anybody else. So how do you take care of Chris first before you take care of your girl, before you take care of these kids, before you take care of mom and them? What is Chris doing to make sure Chris is good first?
Well, I have to I have to be a man of my word. I can't be out here teaching these kids the game of basketball and them telling me that they want to make it to the highest level, but I'm not giving them the proper knowledge, or I'm enabling them. You see, that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten into coaching yet, is because of the humbling inside of me, to where, you know, to be a great coach, man, you have to have immaculate integrity. And I'm not talking about being a winning coach. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when those young men can call you years later, no matter where they are in their lives, and feel like you are a man in their lives that they could come back to and have a conversation with, as well as teaching them the game that can further their lives. Whether that's them playing it or that's them teaching it. That's what true coaching is. So you gotta know the dynamics within your own self before you can give your best coaching. You know, it's like some people choose to be like assistant coaches, right? Some of those people choose it just because they just want that job and they're trying to get to a next level. And some people take that job just because they don't have what it takes to be a coach. They might not be to be a head coach, and they might not be honest about whatever that is, right? But they know that the opportunity that they're taking. For me, I tell parents all of the time, like, don't bring your child to me. Don't bring your child to me if you don't become a better person. I can teach them. My job is to teach them how to be a good player, a great player. But my job is also to teach what my job is going to be is teaching these young men, like, that the game of basketball is more than just a game, and it's like a walk of life too, depending on how much you pay attention to it.
So how are you taking care of Chris? And I know you're telling me,
like
but
me
how
right
are you
now.
taking care of Chris?
Yeah, like me right now. I wake up in the mornings. I drink me tea. I start my morning off with tea. Either it's burdock root tea or dandelion tea. What other teas do I got in here? I got hibiscus in here. Then I'll either start me off with a smoothie or I'll start me off with a green juice. I boil clove water. I take a half a cup of that just as like a shot. Then I get into the workout. Whether that is me wanting to go get up shots, whether that's me wanting to go to the gym and lift weights, whether that's me going on a jog, And then I always take that 15, 20 minutes of just cool down time where I go find somewhere and I just sit and relax and reflect on who I am.
That's big, bro.
And the reflection is probably the best part of the morning, because that's the time when you find yourself holding your own self accountable, where you get to time to just decompress, and just talk to yourself, man. Talk to yourself, because if you don't have honest conversations with yourself, it's gonna be hard for you to evolve as a person. It's like, I'm sure you were in that hospital bed and you were having conversations with yourself. I can never hear Amar, and Amar can never. I mean, I can always hear Amar, but Amar can't never hear me.
He gonna call back in, bro.
But yeah, man. The way to evolve is just that. Like, you gotta not only love what you do, but find something that you can not only love what you do, but evolve into a better person. So if you ever let that thing go, you've already become a good person that is going to lead you into something else. You know what I mean? That is going to be meaningful and might be monumental to your life.
Well, I'm impressed. So I'm impressed, and I'm not impressed because I think certain people do certain stuff that we expect anyway. There's just certain people in life who are disciplined enough. I might not be as disciplined in health, but I know I need to work out, so I'm gonna do it. I know I don't eat meat, so I'm disciplined in that. I know I'm disciplined when it comes down to praying and studying God's word and encouraging and all that. And then there's areas, I missed the boat and I need to get better in that. So all of us got areas we can improve in. And those are the parts, I'm excited about that. At least we're taking the initiative to learn how to improve, to be good stewards of ourselves.
Yeah,
and that part I'm excited about. And Amar, Chris said he never can hear you and you never can hear him.
Nah, I can hear him. I can hear him,
Chris?
He can never hear me.
Yeah, I can hear him right now, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what's happening. I mean, I've gone out 3 or 4 times. Now I'm able to hear you guys, so hopefully it stays that.
Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you now.
Yeah, he said he can hear you, but yeah, that's my biggest thing is I think each one teach one. Where Amar have discipline on riding 48 miles to 60 miles, that's a teaching moment. Don can give us a teaching moment. Anthony, go for a walk. That's a teaching moment. And while he's dealing with the stuff he's dealing with, while he's dealing with life in general, that's a teaching moment. So I think each one of us can teach each one of us to become, Will is telling you all the stuff he's dealing with on a daily basis, and he have to work out 6 days a week. I have to commend each and every last one of us because we're teaching each other to be better men. Nobody is out here just telling us, we wish our parents could have taught us or our dads could have taught us, but then, we're learning, and then we're able to help. We're learning to help each other. I'm excited that we can be a blessing to Will. I'm excited that we can be a blessing to Chris because we can be that big brother, that uncle, that father figure. Right now I'm the maturest one on the line. I'm 65. I don't know why I like saying that. That just sounds so cool. I'm 65. I ain't got time for foolishness, But at 65, I'm still learning from the Chris, from the Will, from Amar, from Anthony, from Donald. I'm still learning that you never stop learning. You learn. You understand that there's a different part of life where you get to grow.
there's a powerful trait that you also got that you need to pay attention to, which is the fact that you allow other ages to still teach you. See, there's a lot that's your generation that don't allow that to happen, to where they can't they some of them can't have conversations with 20-year-olds and find out what their logic is, have find out what their logic is, have those deep conversations with them and see what they're thinking about. A lot of them can't do that, so for
I
you.
think a lot of them are afraid.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I completely understand why, but you
I
got
think Will want to comment on that, Chris. Go ahead, Will.
Chris, you spot on. I heard a older gentleman in my men's group. Y'all can't hear me.
No, I can
Uh,
hear you. I can
I
hear
uh,
can
you.
hear you. I can hear you.
Amar can't hear me.
Mhm.
Everybody's gonna come back in. He'll come back in.
That's because Amar.
I
That's because
heard a
Amar got
Chris.
that.
You was spot on with that comment. I heard an older gentleman put it like this in my men's group at church. He said, "The mentor the mentor need a mentor too, and sometimes when you the OG in the group, the mentor sometimes is the younger dudes."
Hmm.
I never looked at it from that perspective until he said it, and he was like, "That's what keeps him sharp." And he was an older gentleman, like old, like probably my grandfather's age, closer to my grandparents' age than my parents' age. And I was like, you don't really think about that. Um, but you do learn a lot from the younger generation because they keep you sharp on the things that are cutting edge. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be sharp on those things to be able to be successful in some capacity sometimes.
It
And
takes a lot. It takes a lot of humiliation, though. It takes a lot of humiliation, and it's not for the weak, man. Like when you literally have to get down and sit down and talk with a young man that's 21, 22 years old, 23 years old, and this young man coming to you and he's saying, "Hey, look, man, I ain't never had nothing in my life, but I know that what I see in you as a coach, like you just somebody that I wanna be able to just stay in contact with. And I seen you go pro. So now like I got a feeling that I want to follow a dream too. I got a dream too. And now I'm trying to take it to the next level. When that boy come to me, the first thing that I gotta do is sit down and acknowledge the fact that he's coming to me and asking me for help. That's number one. Number two is that I gotta get deep into understanding why he even wants to pursue this dream. You know what I mean? And then I got to ask him about what he has going on in his life and what he
right.
even thinks can stop him from even pursuing that dream or having that dream. You got to get deep into it and you got to be able to relate to them. And that's not just you saying, "Oh, I used to do that too, back in my days." And nah, that's not it. The approach has to be, well, where are you in your life? Before you even give your opinion, find out who he is and what his direction is. And those are superpowers, man, as you get older, if you can relate to the younger generation.
I don't think it's hard. I think it's called, first of all, is your calling. If it's your calling, you understand your calling, then that's what it is. And then second of all, as a coach, you got to be able to adapt. And I think that's what makes good coaches, but make good men, is you being able to adapt. And long as you can adapt, you're good.
But
Um,
I don't think we dealt with mental health the way these young people deal with mental health. We didn't even realize it was mental health. We just thought this is what a man's supposed to do. We ain't supposed to cry. We ain't supposed to do this. We ain't supposed to complain. We ain't supposed. So our generation is kind of more messed up because they wouldn't let us cry. They wouldn't let us complain. You just put your head down and do the work and don't say nothing. And if you don't do it right, we're gonna beat you. We're
This
gonna
the
beat the hell out of you.
this and that's the balance. That's the balance. The balance is from where y'all were and then them being where they are, and they're way too have too many mental and emotional problems, right? So it's like you got to find a balance in between that. Like it has to be the young man saying, "Hey, OG, this the reason why I feel this way," and then OG being able to say, "Oh, Okay, I understand why you feel that way. And then the OG saying, "Have I ever felt that way before?" It might not look like how old buddy, how exactly like his situation. You know what I mean? But can't hear me.
Yeah, I hear you fine. Go ahead.
Oh, Will, can you hear me?
I think we'll hear you. I think we all hear you.
All right. Um, yeah, it has to be to where the um the young man can come to him, to the OG, and be able to say, "Hey, look, OG, this is what's going on," and then the OG be able to sit down and reflect on if that ever happened to him and how he can be able to respond back to this young man, and then be able to recognize that, you know what, maybe I didn't pay attention to my mental or my emotions enough, right? And this young man is teaching me something about mental and emotional capacity. And now you creating a relationship, because now you create a relationship that got vulnerability as well, right? You can't. A lot of people don't have vulnerability in their relationship. Some kids can come to their coach. It's just like when a kid choose who his favorite coach is. It's usually the coach that he can be most vulnerable with. It's usually the coach that he can come that can adapt. The coach that will take that time out to actually sit and have a conversation with him. You know what I mean?
But I
So,
think I think at the same time, Chris, both of y'all got to understand each other. This
hmm
the OG never dealt with emotion,
hmm
mental
yeah,
health, and emotional stuff, and then so sometimes it's hard for him to,
hmm
like, perfect example. My daughter dates an emotional dude. I'm talking about, and sometimes it irks you because you ain't gay, but you doing a whole bunch of girl stuff, and smacking, and you're just doing too much. And sometimes the older gentleman is trying to deal with it, but at some point you have to step back and be like, whoa, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And then be able to explain to him this is a lot because we haven't dealt with this much. I'm gonna just say energy ever, because it's hard for OG to deal with a sensitive dude who's
yeah,
supposed to be grown or
yeah.
trying to be
Cause
grown and got kids and can talk crazy like he grown, but then in the back of the OG mind, he's like, man, this little, you know what I'm saying? In the back of your mind, it's like, bro, you got too much energy going on, bro.
well, I was raised by women,
Okay.
grandma, aunt, mom. I ain't have no father figure in my life. But one thing that I do know is that I was hoping that a figure, and it didn't have to be a father figure, right? Just a male figure would come into my life that could be able to just guide me, right?
Oh,
Or just be able to give me conversation, give me advice. I was always a kid that was seeking that from my elders. I was raised by my grandma. My grandma was 40 when she was in her 40s when I was a kid. So it's like I was still looking at a younger. I mean, I was still looking at low key a young adult. You know what I mean? Like growing, or somebody growing into being an adult. I was still watching her do that, and she was a grandmother. And when I finally got into basketball, and I had somebody to my coaches, that was just male figures, realizing like, man, these guys is taking 12 kids and just taking them in a car, in a van, taking us to go play basketball. It's like those are the figures that I was looking for. And when I got into basketball and I was able to connect with the type of coaches that I was able to connect with, I feel like I learned a lot about myself and about manhood. Just being able to be around those men, but also listening. Like in college, like they usually have a student assistant coach, and then a head coach. And it's like the student assistant is usually somebody that is closer to your age, might be a graduate, might be somebody that's young trying to get into coaching, whatever the case may be. You got the level of it, you got the level listening to them, and then the next level you got the assistant coach, and then you got the head coach. It's like you got three different male people to have a conversation with, you know? And you never know who will run into who you'll run into that can become a role model. But some kids don't have that male and that masculine energy in their lives. And they don't. And it's like those kids kind of far behind as well. Because it's like it's but so much a woman can do as far as raising a boy.
So this is a question I got for you. You 6 some feet tall, raised by all women, and looking for a male figure. How do you deal with your stuff? Because now you're dealing with men, and men are more like, "Hey, Chris, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this." They're not passive. They're not. They're not going to be aggressive. They're going to just tell you, and you either have to do it or you don't.
Well, it's logic, right? It's having the understanding that I was raised by 3 single women, right? So I had the understanding that who are these women, why they can't keep a man in their lives, right? And what kind of men are they attracting? So just based off of the men that they was attracting, I already knew what type of man that I didn't want to be, right? I had examples, I had those same women trying to put guys in my life and it just didn't fit. You know what I mean? Like I had those examples. So whenever a guy was able to come to me, I know the difference between when somebody is using their testosterone to tell me what's going on, their ego. I mean, not the testosterone, their ego to tell me what's going on. And when I know when they're actually telling me something logical and true. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I was being raised by women, but I was also learning a lot from women that helped me. So whenever I was getting into the opportunity to find that male role model, I already knew, what to accept and what not to accept.
Right. Well, and I respect that. But what about the boy who raised by a woman who mad at men, and it's hard for that man to coach him because now he's mad at dudes for not being passive, for not. Well, I don't want to. No, you're going to do it. I don't care. I don't care if you don't want to do it. You're going to do it. If you want to be on this team, this is what you're going to do. And then, so he walks around angry, frustrated, and then he creates his own mental health because he was raised by women. And now when a real man is in your life or a man is in your life, and I think Don's going to speak up on it. Go ahead, Don. You answer the question.
You can't. One thing I've learned in this coaching business and just in this game of life, you can't save everyone.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have kids like that. We had a kid like that, and we had to get rid of him because he's a detrimental to the other players and the coaching staff, and we had to get rid of him. And we did everything we could, and he didn't want to do no counseling, none of that. So at some point, you just have to get rid of him. I think at every point with most kids, you kind of figure out.
His phone dropped. He should be back. 1 second, Donald. Go ahead. Go ahead, Don. Don went off again. He didn't.
I need Don to let me know if they have some coaching opportunities. Bro.
Yeah, bro. You might have to go to Utah, bro.
You know what I mean? Utah. He in Utah?
He in Utah.
I love Utah, boy.
You love Utah?
I just left.
There goes Don right there.
You can't. You can't save every kid, and I think at some point you realize what kids' heart are really in it, and you can really mentor and coach those kids up.
What if that guy heart was really in it? This is just new to him. Well, it can't be new because you're in college, but it's still kind of new because you don't have the babysitter. Because every time I watch the NBA draft, they always thinking they mama, and we're the men. That's all I'm asking.
That's natural. You should thank your mama because that's a lot of these kids. That's who they had, right? But then when you did have dad, you know, I saw some kids in this drive who dad was sitting right there and mom was together. Even if they wasn't together or was together, they were sitting there. So I just you kind of get it, man. Like at the end of the day, when you get a kid get to college, he knows. So it ain't even a high school kid knows. Now you might have to help that kid mature, whatever. Like the kid we had, because of his talent, people were letting him get away with stuff.
Right.
And so we just got to that point where like I told my head coach, like, this dude ain't gonna never learn about life. This kid, this basketball is when he's done with basketball, he gonna be in trouble. So we're gonna have to let him go because somebody's gonna have to try to help him with life. And obviously we can't do that right now because that kid ain't in that space. But for me as a coach, you kind of always can tell the kid that really wants it. Whether that's being coached, whether that's being like mentored to, whatever that is, you kind of that's why I'm excited about this group we got coming in, because I feel like we got a group for one who fit my head coach's personality. And that's a big thing as an assistant, man. Really finding players that fit your head coach's personality. And then two, I feel like we have some kids who want to listen, who are dogs that want to do things the right way. And when you get that will help winning. So, but just and you can't save everybody, but when you open yourself up, you're going to open yourself to learn from the younger generation. And that's
And
what I mean about adapting. You know, the reason me and my son are having issues here is one, I got my twin girls here. I got a wife here. I have an 83-year-old mother-in-law here, and he don't want to do things right. So at some point, that's gonna come to a end, whether it's jail or he actually decide he want to do mental health court, or it could be worse. But as a father, I've done everything I can to kind of help this kid. And so then you kind of get at your crossroads with some stuff. And there's sometimes God tell you to let people go, even your own. So I just think you kind of get an idea of those kids that really want it. And you do everything you can. Chris, where did you play at, Chris?
I played at two schools. I played at a school called Virginia University of Lynchburg and Virginia Union.
did you hear him, Don? Big John fell off. He'll be right back on. Hey, Mark, you there? Can you hear us? I don't know if you hear us. Hey, Mark, you here? He's serious about driving. Y'all see how he's driving? AL, you hear us? Well, Chris, you still hear us.
Yeah.
So yeah, Don should be popping right back on. But yeah, man, I think the learning part is you have to realize that there's different generations. They're going through different stuff, and we got to be able to bridge that gap.
Which a part of adapting is learning to adapt with the kids as well and their generation. Being able to not be afraid of really finding out what their generation is even thinking like and looking like. You know what I'm saying? Like they are lost. Like they are lost, and it's a few of them that are not afraid of saying that the whole generation is lost. Not all of them, you know what I mean, are as lost in the sauce, and there's some of them that are very intelligent, very aware of what's going on in the world.
Well, you know what's crazy?
You got a few of them in your household.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my great, well, I guess it's more. Let me see, my nephew, his son, and his son's son. So my great nephew hit me up. He like, you my uncle? I'm like, yeah. He like, so how are you my uncle? I said, well, I'm your grandmother's. And then I realized I wasn't his grandmother's. I was his grandfather's mother's brother. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell him, you're my fourth generation. And he's like, oh my God. And he just kept asking me all these questions because he was shocked to know that he was the fourth generation. Like his dad is dead, his grandfather is deceased, and his grandmother is deceased. But his great-great-grandmother is deceased. So I'm on the other side, and he's excited to know that he knows somebody who's like his fourth uncle. Yep. Which is crazy because I'm 65. No,
and you hip too. You're a little hip too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what's
going on. I like that cool uncle.
You feel me? You cool. You cool. Like, man, look, listen, this while we on this topic, you know, there's this thing that I've been even going through, and it's not nothing major. It's just something that has built my awareness where I got nieces and nephews, right?
Right.
Some of them are my shorties. Most of them are my shorties' nieces and nephews, right? And not many nephews, but there's a bunch of nieces,
right?
And I'm the uncle that, you know, let's go have fun. Like, y'all, if y'all need somebody to babysit the kids, they gonna come back muddy, they gonna come back all kind of stuff, but they gonna have the best time of their life. You know what I mean? And that's how I treat all of the babies until I had to start realizing that I was affecting the households. And this is how I was affecting the households. The males don't do that in the household.
Right.
The fathers. So I find myself stepping on their toes, not purposely, right? But just because they haven't stepped into the true essence of what being a father is, right? Some of them come home and just get straight to a beer, get to the sports, and then pick their kid up, drop them, and then that's how they show their daddy love, right? And for me, it's not that. Like, as soon as I come through the door, it's Uncle Chris, you know what I mean? It's like super geek. And I realized in a few of the households that the men were jealous. And right. I had to literally sit the men down and was just like, I don't have kids, bro. So what you see from me is my expression of what it would feel like if I did have kids. And that's the love that I'm going to give to your child and anybody else's child. So don't be envious of me. Don't be jealous of me for any of that. Just know that your child is in good hands and they got a good male role model in their life instead of you thinking about all this other stuff.
And that's the part where he mad because he can't be like you.
And this the thing about it. I encourage them to know. I encourage both of them to let them know, like, you know, you actually can be me. You choose not to be me. Don't be upset. Don't be upset with me because I want to give your child love. If anything, how you really are to be as a man is clap for that man and support that man for supporting you and your family. We got too many egos. Like, come on, man. Y'all in y'all 40s. Y'all hating. What y'all hating on? You hating on somebody that's giving real unconditional love to your child. You going to keep your child away from that by having a big ego.
And maybe they didn't have love, Chris. Maybe they jealous because they want the love that you're giving to the kids. Because a lot of times parents can be jealous of their kids.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I had to realize like what my objective was. You know what I mean? My objective was to not be afraid in having those conversations with them, right? Because, hey, look, man, don't piss on my parade. Parade fun over here. You're not going to piss on my parade because you feel a certain type of way. And if you feel a certain type of way, then you come and speak to me. But I know that I'm not only just fixing that child's life, clearly, I'm making an impression on the entire family. You know what I mean?
And it's hard for men, and y'all in the same age range, it's hard for men who didn't have love to see their kids getting what they didn't have. And so they're mad at you because you're giving something they want and they don't know how to ask for it. Because kids are asked for what they want. Kids want to be loved. Kids want to be played with. Kids want to be enjoyed. And as the adults, they can't find love. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand love. What the heck happened? You know, and now, can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, we
Yep,
hear
I'm
you
still
now.
here.
Yeah, you
Okay.
back on the button.
Yeah, I'm sorry, they kicked me off for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But
you back about.
what I'm saying is sometimes, just like Anthony, you have a great relationship with your kids. And what's up with it? Listen, you got a great relationship with your kids. So what we're talking about is how do we take care of ourselves before we can help anybody else. And what Chris was talking about, he's that fun uncle. A lot of times the father isn't mad at you, Chris. The father is mad because that's the love he wants from a male, and he don't know how to ask another male to be present in his life that he can laugh and talk with. Because most males usually just hang out smoking, drinking, going to the club, but never have male conversations. Never talk about, being physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, or even sexually abused. They don't have those conversations. So now you're on Therapy Thursday and you're in your 30s, and Anthony's in his 50s, and I'm in my 60s, and we're talking about every single generation, and we're willing to bridge the gap and have those conversations. But everybody can't have that type of conversation because everybody is afraid of telling the truth. A lot of people do not tell the truth. A lot of people lie to themselves because they think, oh, that's going to make me this, or that's going to make me that. Or you said you was raised by 3 women who didn't have a permanent man in their life. Oh, somebody else will think, oh, that make me a sissy, or that
Hey, hey,
makes this
hey,
and that.
Shaq, I forgot. I got cut off because my AD, my sports AD called me about something. What the Chris was trying to tell me where he played at.
Go ahead, Chris.
I played at Virginia University at Lynchburg, and I played at Virginia Union.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
are you playing overseas now?
No, I'm actually just finishing. And I'm at this place right now where I'm player developing right now. Well, I'm a player development coach, and
Okay,
I'm at that cusp of, do I want to go play again or do I want to teach these kids? So whichever opportunity presents itself like first, I want to do. Now I will say this. I think I love coaching kids and training kids more than I love hooping, because I just love, I don't know, it's a different joy that I get teaching it. I didn't know I was this smart when it comes to basketball. You know what I'm saying? So like,
absolutely.
and the experience has just like matured me. So like I can see myself being able to say, hey, if that opportunity presents itself, I'll take it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, God's giving you a platform. He's giving you a platform, and it's probably your calling. So you protect that um, with your heart. But make sure, this my only advice to you would be, make sure you're done with playing. You need to be totally done with playing,
Yeah.
and just make sure that you're totally done.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then you're gonna have some regrets. So
Yeah.
if you don't know, if in your mind you're not totally sure you're done, then go ahead and finish that. And if you get the opportunity to play, go do it. But
Nah, I'm
it's
finished.
probably your calling.
Yeah, yeah, I'm finished. And how I actually know I'm finished is because, yo, I feel so accomplished and I didn't even accomplish everything, right? Like I didn't even accomplish maybe half of the things that my friends have accomplished, but I accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish. So much that I feel like I've given enough to the game that the only part of me that feels empty is that I didn't give it to somebody else. That's where I
Okay.
am now.
Okay. Then you're in a good
So,
place, brother. You're in a good
yeah.
place. All right.
So,
Hey, Kevin joined us, so we want to welcome Kevin, and just to let him know what we're talking about. How do we take care of ourselves first before we help anybody else? Because when you fly, the first thing they say, you put the mask on yourself first. But as Black men, we don't take care of ourselves. We don't take care of our health. We don't take care of we don't realize that our health is our wealth. And the reason we got in this conversation, because last week, I ended up in the hospital for 3 days because my potassium level was high. I was dizzy, I was lightheaded, and then I'm finding out I'm taking too much magnesium. I'm eating too many fries. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So we're talking about before we start helping anybody else, how do we take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, whatever. How do you take care of yourself first before you're out here taking care of everybody else? That's my question. So you can answer it at any point. You know, my buddy Anthony was talking about his son. His son passed away, and he's dealing with what he's going through. But he's thanking God for the fact that somebody was there with him. A lady named Ruby was there with him before he passed away. So God answered his prayer. That was his prayer. It was already answered. So go ahead, Kev. Sorry.
My heart goes out to you because I had to deal with that as well. And then to answer the question, that's a great question. And because, and like, for those who don't know, like, I've been in the music business for 30 years, been with E40 from day one, running the company, doing all of this different stuff, right? So people on the outside looking in always, it's like, oh, Kev, he got it made. It's straight. He's happy. He's this and that. But I deal with so much that it's crazy. Just as, like you said, as a Black man, we tend to, as you all know, we tend to put our cape on to save everybody else naturally. So it's hard for us to take care of ourselves. As far as I know, it was always like that for me. Hard for me to take care of myself before I take care of others. So I'm actually really in the process of really learning how to really take care of myself, which I've had, I've been healthy, thank God I've been healthy for the most part. And I just turned 60 on the 10th of June. So, blessings.
June
Yeah.
6th over here. I'm 65 years old.
hey, I ain't gonna lie, y'all look good for 60-year-olds.
65 years. I'm 65 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, that's blessings. Yes. So, yeah, to do that, how do we take care of ourselves before we take care of others? Honestly, I think the only thing I can say for me, which I'm learning to do, is I got to pray first.
Okay.
I think I got to pray first, and then let God guide me.
So what about your health? What about working out? What about drinking water? What about eating right? Because I'm vegan, and I decided I'm not eating meat. I decided I wanted to lose weight. I lost 123 pounds. Now I got to maintain this health, and I got to eat. I just found out I eat too many fries, so I can't eat fried fries no more. You know what I'm saying? So there's different things I'm learning, and Chris talked about it earlier, that we allow another generation to help us, because in our generation, nobody in our generation was going to the gym. Nobody in our generation was eating right. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to eat pig feet, black-eyed peas, chitlins, ribs. You know what I'm saying? And This generation is telling us, nah, bro, you need to drink some of that green juice. You need to quit eating all that crazy stuff. We got to learn how to listen to the bridge. And that's what Chris was telling us, that we can bridge the gap. So
yeah, I definitely have to start drinking more water. I tend to, because I have diabetes, so I tend to try to, lean towards whether it's diet stuff, which I know you're supposed to have, but to try to,
Richard got more sugar in the diet stuff,
which is crazy.
That's splendid. That's splendid, man. That's splendid. It'll kill you, man. That's splendid. That's splendid. That's all that's in that diet stuff is that splendid, that fake sugar.
Right. Because I'm looking, I'm still looking for that taste, the water.
Hey,
I'm
look,
like, that taste, when you're eating something to complete the meal or complete that snack, So, but yeah, I definitely got to drink more water. I'm starting to walk more. I started and I stopped because of certain things. So yeah, I definitely got to walk more, drink more water, and just start, really just start working out. It's just a mental thing. It's like, oh, I want to go to the gym, and then next thing you know, I'm on the freeway driving somewhere to go try to do a deal or close a deal or something, which tends to put forward like that's more important.
And that's the thing that we're talking about today, that we're putting everything before our health, and we only get one body. You know what I'm saying? And we only, we only get one opportunity to take care of ourselves. And if we don't, God has already blessed us with the body. He blessed us with eyes to see, ears to hear, mouth to talk, and nose to breathe. He blessed us with common sense. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times in our culture, and because we're in these 60s, common sense isn't common. And we have to bridge the gap to look at these young people. These young people are stronger because they getting up early in the morning. They praying. They're working out. They're eating right. They're doing all this stuff that we're mad at them, but they good. And we're supposed to be the teacher. And we was just talking about pastors. It's a pastor who's famous, got all kind of music out all over the internet, everywhere. And he's so big. First, he was leaning on the pulpit. Now he just sit behind the pulpit in the chair. And then he has to have help with his walking to get off the pulpit. It's kind of hard for me to hear you praying. You know what I'm saying? Or you preaching the gospel to me, and I'm looking at, I just seen this young lady. She a rapper. She weighed 400 pounds. Girl, you're gonna die. If nothing else, you're gonna die from obesity. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say this. I'm a friend of mine's son just passed away, and it was because of you're not taking care of your health. And we can't blame God for something that God gives us the ability to do ourselves. Like, yeah, I walk 2 miles, but it's hot out here. I ain't going out till it's night. I just found out because I got Medi-Cal, A, D, and supplement. I got a free gym membership. Bro, don't think I didn't go join the gym and I got to work out 3 days a week. I scanned my own body on AI and said what I need to do. And AI told me, I'm writing my memoirs. I'm at 20 chapters. But I went and got Copilot and just started talking about my history from childhood. And now it's teaching me how my grandfather was silent. My father and mother was silent. And now I got to carry the mantle and not be silent. Like my grandfather brought my parents to California, but my mama was 15 and pregnant, and my daddy was 17, and they got married at 15 and 17, and then she turned 16, he turned 18, and then they had a baby by July. First of all, they was too young to be having kids. Her mom was dead already. She with a dude who she with a dude who he don't know nothing about being a man. He don't know how to be a man, and now he a father? Come on, that don't even make sense. So now he's a father, and then he's intimidated by all the dudes in California, so he keeps her pregnant. But every time she have a baby, she bounced back to a 7 or a 9. You know what I'm saying? So now they got 14 kids. He working his life to death. He never got a chance to be whoever he wanted to be.
Well, that's
Even
good.
though he took great care of his family. Praise God, he took great care of his family. But at the same time, when did he have an opportunity to grow? When did he have an opportunity to look out for himself? I remember he used to get drunk on Saturdays. If I had 14 kids, I get drunk on Saturdays too. What the heck? I remember one time he got in trouble for drinking and driving. The judge found out he had 14 kids. He said, "Oh, nah, bro, we can't put you in jail. You just do weekends. You can't go to jail. We ain't finna pay. We ain't finna let that woman be on welfare. You got a job. You taking care of them. Y'all own a house. You take care of your family. You only go to jail on the weekend." But again, because he was silent, he was a father too soon. Once my mom had her second baby, she was 19. She had first baby at 16. She had a second baby at 17. Then her dad got murdered. So imagine you have no mother, no father, and you're trying to raise all these kids. Come on, bro. That is crazy. And then all your kids got different personalities because my mom only had a 6th grade education. My dad had a 2nd grade education. My siblings didn't like me. My siblings didn't like me because I got a master's and a doctor's degree. Oh, you think you better than us. Oh, you think your kids are better than us. That's foolishness. We had the same amount of time. The time you was smoking crack and getting drunk, you could have went to school too. The time you was chasing chicks, you could have went to school too. And for a long time, I felt guilty for being educated. I don't feel guilty now. I took the time to do what I had to do. So I'm learning that in order to bridge this gap, like I quit the music industry. You know what I'm saying? When my best friend Dwayne, me and the city of Oakland paid for his funeral. And I don't care who get mad. That's the truth. And took care of it and made sure everything was taken care of. Because I wanted to make sure my boy left this world a certain kind of way. But again, we got to take care of ourselves, bro. At the end of the day, that's all I'm saying.
You can't.
Hold on, Chris was talking. Hold on. Go ahead, Chris.
Nah, go ahead. He could go. I remember.
Okay.
What you trying to say? I got dementia?
No. No. I just wanted.
I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you. I just think that's one thing as Black people, man. We got to stop putting that stuff out there and really enjoy when somebody's doing well and praise that and stop. Oh, think you better than us. It's not about that, man. It's about you bettering yourself to help somebody else. And we need to really stop doing that.
And you know what? I quit calling us Black people. We melon. We got melon. That's why people don't like us, because we got a whole bunch of melon. Because ain't none of us Black. We all on this line right now. Ain't none of us the same color.
Amen.
Now, other people, they all the same color.
Hey, look, I'm pretty brown with a red tongue, boy.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying other
cultures. I'm paper brown. I'm paper brown.
But other cultures are putting us in a little box, and that ain't who we are. We melon, and we are the indigenous people of this land. And I don't care how nobody feel about it, how nobody think about it, but we are the indigenous people of this land, and we have to take care of ourselves. Because the problem is we're not taking care of ourselves because we listening to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I ain't listening to nobody no more. I'm taking care of myself. I'm loving myself. I'm respecting myself. And before I take care of my wife, my kids, anybody, I'm taking care of me.
Hey, Mr. Don, if y'all ever have any positions open, holla at me.
Yes, sir.
He got the nerve to like you. He like Utah. What black person like you? What
I love
Midwest person
nah,
like Utah?
I
You,
love Utah. I'm telling.
you,
Matter of fact, that Utah to Colorado, them areas right there. I don't know what they did to me, but boy, I love mountains. Those
yeah,
different kind of
you ain't got
mountains.
to, the mountains are beautiful, and you ain't got to lock your door at night.
Come on, that part. That part.
Now that's crazy. You ain't got to lock your door at night.
You don't.
That's crazy by itself.
You don't.
But
Don't
yeah,
nobody lock their door.
hey man, but I am excited for all of us who've been on the line. I think Kevin fell off, Kenyatta fell off, but we got about 3 more minutes. So we're gonna go to Chris, Anthony, and Donald. Y'all give us y'all closing remarks. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, man. Just taking care of yourself is just you starting to take control over your own life, right? Unlearning and relearning. All them things that you was taught about that you really don't like and you don't even teach it to your kids, you know what I mean? That's a part of unlearning. Relearning is you implementing who you want to be, the best version of your actual self. You know what I mean? And but it's not gonna happen in just one day. You got to do it consistently. You know, as men, it's hard for us to do things consistently unless it's a working manner. And it's like, nah, work on yourself. If it's a working manner, work on yourself. You know what I mean? So just stay at that consistently, man. Like if they say, uh, it's like how I am when I'm at your house. Um, P-Shack is, hey, I'm about to make a smoothie. You want a smoothie? Oh no, I'm about to go and get me some Starbucks. Nah, we finna eat this smoothie today. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like,
actually, I ain't been on Starbucks in 3 months, so
you
now
get
I
what
can
I'm
drink a
saying?
smoothie with you.
Exactly. So, man, take care of yourself so people can enjoy the fruits of labor of your life. You know, like so people can enjoy you, so people can spend more time with you. You stop eating meat, and this is for all of us. I stopped eating meat because I wanted to live longer, right? But just because I stopped eating meat and I started to sort of take care of myself, now I need to take the steps on how I'm going to live longer. So because you stopped eating meat, now we worrying about how now you gotten a little healthier. Now we worrying about how we can keep you on this earth for even longer. You know what I mean? So that's it, man. Take it day by day, and have people in your corner that support you. And you got those type of people. We have these type of people here on Therapy Thursday. And man, yeah, just keep striving to be better each day, man.
I appreciate you. Anthony Lewis, what's your closing remarks? AL. I'm waiting on him to unmute himself. AL, can you hear me? AL be out there working hard, y'all. We'll go to Donald and then we come back to AL. Donald, your closing remarks.
just one word for me: discipline.
Yeah, man.
Discipline. Just got to be disciplined.
That's big, bro. Hey, while we waiting on Anthony, oh, he fell off. He might come back on.
I'm gonna add to that obedience.
You said
Yeah.
what?
Obedience is the next level of discipline.
Hey, the
Yes.
Bible says obedience is better than sacrifice.
Absolutely.
So, again, y'all, I appreciate everybody who came on today. I hope this was great for you. And hey, we will see you next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hey, we love you big. Y'all be great. One
Love.
love. Peace. End it. Damn. Come on, bro. End the screen.